From TacForce. This is the TF. What's up guys, Product Pros Christian back at you with a neat one today from TacForce. This is the TF428. Got your wooden handle, your Damascus etched bolsters and blade. This thing's pretty sweet. Let's go ahead and check it out. Alright, this is the first one actually we got in with the Damascus etched, and it's pretty sweet. At first, we thought it was actual Damascus, but after thinking about it, we're like, nah, that stuff's too expensive to come with these TAC 4 knives. But let me show you what I'm talking about. Alright, so right here, as you can see, you got this really nice design on the stainless steel right here. It's called Damascus. I'm not really sure. It's almost kind of like an abstract oil. The effect that oil has on top of water. It's kind of what it reminds me of. But kind of getting into the details, got your Damascus etched stainless steel right here. I like how the thumb studs are placed so far up. Really no use for them though. It looks cool, but with this knife and you close it, you're not going to be able to open it up with that. You're not even going to be able to, with the spring assisted knife, you're not really going to be able to even use them. Got your spear point blade right here. Rather large blade too, lots of cutting over at the bottom, large belly, so that's a plus. Pretty sharp point too. So one thing I'm kind of curious about, TacForce usually does a pretty good job with their knives being sharp right out of the box. So let's go ahead, get some paper and see what we're dealing with. Alright, so let's go ahead, get some paper and see what we're dealing with. From the catch at the top of the paper right here, let's see. So, definitely not a super sharp knife. Let's try that one more time. Caught a little better about that time, but there definitely is going to be a lots of tearing and ripping. Let's go one more time with that. Yeah, so definitely not a super sharp blade right there. Kind of curious to see, being that it is a spear point, how much push there's going to be right here. Yeah, okay, the point makes up for it. Definitely a nice sharp point on there. Being that it is a spear point, that is a given and a must. But yeah, on the cut down, it really isn't a super sharp blade. There definitely is going to be lots of ripping, lots of tearing. So, I guess you could say it's so-so. Alright, sharpness is so-so. As you can see, there was a little bit of ripping going on, but I'm sure if you ran it through a blade once or twice, you would have no problem whatsoever. Next thing, speaking of this trigger, it's actually really fast. With the stilettos especially, being that it's a thin blade, it's going to be super fast, which is a definite plus. Really, there's like no pressure needed to push that trigger down, so that is super nice. The liner lock on this thing is actually really nice too. Let me show you what I'm talking about. It's got one of those padded liner locks, at least what I like to call them. So it's got the extra kind of a thicker piece right there for your lock, so all you got to do is push that down. Super comfortable. Like that a lot as well. Makes it for a really nice one-handed open and close. No problems whatsoever. Let's go ahead and look into some of the details on this handle. So right here, as you can see, you've got your aluminum bolsters on either side, and they are Damascus etched as well. Got your real nice dark wood handle right here. I like them compared to more of the light handles. The darker gives it a really nice look to it, which is what I like a lot. And other thing is this belt clip. It's pretty beefy. I can barely even lift that thing up with my finger. As you can see, it's got a large dip right there, so I'm not sure how it's going to pull up in the pocket with the frame in the pocket like that. I mean, it's a pretty simple knife, so yeah, let's go ahead. I'm kind of curious to see, being that the thing is super beefy, I'm kind of curious to see how this thing's going to slide in and out of the pocket, so let's go ahead and check it out. Right off the bat, I'm going to make a prediction that these thumb studs are actually going to get in the way of putting it in the pocket, so let's see what we're dealing with. So, not too bad right there, but on the takeout, let's see. Slides in, it's actually a little bit difficult to get in. Let's see if we can do a one-handed. You can do a one-handed, but there definitely is going to be quite a bit of tug. Let's see with that two-handed. It's going to be better two-handed, and you definitely can feel the catch on those thumb studs. Not a big deal. Let's see how it sits in there. So, the printing, show you over here, is not too bad. It is more of a slender kind of knife, so I do like that right there. And that concealability is really nice too, especially show you with that front camera. You're not going to be able to see anything. Especially wearing a long shirt, kind of t-shirt like this, not bad at all. Let's see right here. I can kind of feel it kind of fraying up into my pocket. I don't know if you can see that. But you can see the big dip right there in the belt clip. And you can definitely tell I might, over time, kind of fray out that pocket, wear it out a little bit. But that's the only thing. And also, I really don't like how the belt clip, it does extend really far up on the knife itself. But it only goes up to about a certain point. You really have to push it down really hard to get to go all the way up to the top. So I guess it's more of a, I guess say multi-position belt clip, but you're definitely going to have to push down a little bit harder to get it all the way down. But actually, that's not too bad. And just a little difficult to get out of the pocket. But other than that, it's pretty nice. Alright guys, I was catching a little bit, taking it in and out of the pocket, so like I was saying before, it's because of that super beefy belt clip. Not a problem. One thing I want to go back over though is this grip. There's not a bunch of grip on here. It's more of an everyday carry simple knife, although it still does have a very nice feel to it, even without the thumb grooves or lots of grip on the handle. Still feels really nice. Get into your defensive, you're good right there, good to go as well. The only thing really is this thumb, or this the bolsters that are, I keep saying bolsters. It's on the bolsters, but these thumb studs, as you can see on the blade, not the blade, the bolsters as well. There's almost grip on the front of those thumb studs right there. So that's what I'm guessing is almost kind of like a choil from the bottom where you can choke up. It's almost you can put your thumb at the front of the knife right there, give you more control of the blade, which is a plus, I guess. I didn't really notice that until Product Pros Matt pointed that out. But that was a nice little thing right there, that's kind of a little add-on feature. When it was in the pocket, however, it was a little bit kind of heavy. You know, you can feel it was a little bulkier of a knife. I'll show you right here. As you can see, it's definitely more of a bulkier knife. You can tell with the wood's kind of hanging up there a little bit. So I'm kind of curious to see how this thing's really going to weigh out. Even though it is a super, I guess you could say, narrow knife, there definitely is some size to it. Let's go ahead and check that out. Let's go ahead and grab the weight on this thing. Let's see what we're dealing with. Okay, 4.44 ounces. Actually, you know, for a rather larger knife, 4.44 is actually really nice. And I'm guessing this thing's probably going to be around 8 inches. So, kind of curious. Let's see what we're dealing with. So, I'll start out kind of closed right here. But just shy of 5 inches. Actually, yeah, just shy of 5. Fully opened. We're going to be dealing with, yeah, 9 inches, guys. So 4.4 is not bad at all for this size of a knife. And the length of the blades, away from the actual where the blade starts right here, is going to be 3.5 inches. So for a large knife like this, 4.4 ounces is actually really good. I'm really liking this knife so far. All right, I stand corrected. This thing was actually lighter than I thought it was going to be for the size of the knife. Almost an 8.5 inch knife, and it was relatively light. So that's a definite plus right there. But other than that, that's really it for the knife. You know, I like this thing, being that it's almost kind of like a simple everyday carry. That's more my style kind of knife. You know, I don't really like all the tactical with all the stuff on there. Just not necessary for my situation. So I definitely do like this knife. And the big plus on it, go ahead and show you guys, is the whole style on the thing. You know, you got your Damascus etched blade with your Damascus etched bolsters right there. Really nice dark wood handle right here. And it just pulls it together really, really nicely. And all you got really on this knife extra is this pocket clip right there. Just super simple. I like it a lot. Like I was saying, guys, this is the TF, I believe 428. Yep, 428. Go ahead and check it out. I'll leave that link down in the description below if you want to go ahead and check it out. But other than that, be sure to check out our Friday night knife giveaways. Every single Friday night, we're giving away knives just like this. Big, small, karambits, fixed blades. You name it, we got it. We're giving it away. 5, 6 o'clock is usually when we live stream. That is Central Time, just to be clarify. But I hope you guys enjoyed the review. Be sure to like and subscribe, and we will see you on the next one. Alright guys, this is Product Pros Christian here with another karambit knife. The last two we did, we had a silver one and a black one. Today we'll be doing the gray one. Let's open it up. First impressions, it's a super sleek knife. I like how this one doesn't have all the red on it. It's kind of just one simple color, black and gray. It looks a lot more sophisticated, I guess you could say. Got the same action on the trigger, super fast. You got a little curved knife right there. And also, what I really like about these knives is you've got the little grip on top right here, especially for just cutting something. It's just real nice to have that little extra grip. And also got like a kind of a little grip right here, just when you're holding it right there. It's a super sharp knife. We'll show you that right here real quick. Just cuts right through that, just like it's nothing. Just instant. Crazy. Still got the little silver aluminum holes right there. Let's get some more dimensions on it. Now, opened up, you're looking at about 7 1/4, 7 inches. The length of the blade is about 3 inches on the dot. And closed up, you're looking at about a little over 5 inches, I guess you might say. Let's yeah, 5 inches. Let's also get some the weight on this thing. All right, we are looking at about 5.1 ounces. Like I said, it's a pretty light knife. It's pretty convenient. Not like a lot of
A lot of the other karambits we've reviewed is kind of bulky. This one's nice and simple. Doesn't have the best grip because it's all aluminum, but it does have a nice little grip right there when you're just going like that, you're in fight position, or you're just cutting. The belt clip on it, pretty beefy. Like I said, it's pretty simple. We'll get some shots on that just in a second here. But overall, it's a real nice karambit knife. This one is a lot more, I guess, sophisticated than the other one. Just like how it's all one color, just nice and chic. Now let's go see what it looks like in the pocket. Alright guys, here's what it looks like in the pocket. Pretty nice, not too bulky. Pull it out, good to go. There's one thing I'm not too stoked about it. It's kind of hard to put in and out of the pocket. It's not some of the other knives, which is simple pull out. It's a little force involved. But I mean, it's not gonna affect whether I buy it or not. But that's probably the only thing I don't like about this knife is just the little extra effort that you put into taking in and out of the knife. But let's show you what it looks like in a concealed way. Kind of bunches up a little bit, but other than that, I mean, you can still kind of see it, but it's not too bad. Alright guys, well overall this is a nice knife. Product Probes approves of this knife. We got it off I think it was Amazon. We'll link it down below in the description. But just for every day, I wouldn't necessarily say you would carry it around every single day, but it's a good knife just to have. I wouldn't say it'd be the best for just convenient everyday use, but real nice knife. And if you liked this review, drop a like and subscribe for more. See you next time.
What's going on, everybody? Product Probes back at you with another knife review, and today we're doing Amazon's most popular selling knife. It is the TF434 by Tac Force. I can see why this thing is probably the best selling, because when you think of everyday carry knives, a knife like this is just real simple, straight to the point, but seems to hold up really well. The trigger is really good. So let's go ahead, let's dive into it, and let's see what this thing's got. Alright, so first thing I want to look at is definitely going to be this trigger. The trigger, well, let me give you a close-up on it. If you look at the trigger right here, it is rather large, so you can actually get your pointer right there on it. So I like that aspect of it, but with it being spring assisted, bam, this thing pops open pretty quick. Definitely not the fastest, but it pops on open, and if you give it a little flick, it's even better. So let's go over some details of this knife. So right down here, starting with the back, you have a nice pointed glass breaker right there, window breaker. That thing is actually really sharp. Boom, I like that. And moving on down, you've got your seatbelt cutter right here. Solid black handle, and it's going to be a plastic handle, just a standard plastic handle, but it's just a plastic overlay on your stainless steel mechanism right there. Moving on up, your thumb ramp seems to be just high enough to where you can get back and really get control of your cut downs. Moving on down, you got your standard drop point blade with your, oh look at that, it's a dual thumb studs right there for a different way of releasing the blade. Have a large belly down here for cutting, which I'll get the measurements on that here in just a second. Got your choil. Moving on down, got your standard liner lock right down there, and it is a silver, just a steel mechanism there. And then moving on down, the grip is actually, it's not terrible. I like to be able to hold, especially if I flip to a defensive stance. That glass breaker is pretty sharp, and I like to put my thumb up there. However, if you're just using it for cutting, well, it kind of sticks you in the palm a little bit. And, you know, different hands are going to have different problems with knives. But in my case, the way I'm holding it, that glass breaker is hitting right there in the palm. It's not a deal breaker or anything, but I can still cut down. Yeah, it's actually not too bad, that little window breaker. So, got it closed. Let's finish the details out on it. So, right here you have a nice belt clip, And I like this because it goes all the way up to the, I guess the back of the knife. So it's going to sit all the way in your pocket. You know, a lot of times they'll have belt clips down here. We have, you know, this much knife sticking out. But in this case, it's actually sitting down really well. And since we're already on it, this thing seems to be pretty beefy. Let's go check it out and see what it looks like in the pocket. Alright guys, let's see what this thing looks like in the pocket. The belt clip seems to be fairly decent, so let's check it out. So, just facing frontwards right here. It feels a little heavy, but I can reach my hands in my pocket, no problem. It's got a good feel to it. Now, one hand pull out, let's see what we got. Hey, it slides out pretty good, and your trigger's right there. The slide in is not bad either. Let me show you all close up. So, as you can see right here, single hand pull out, bam. And then you push it back in right there. Guys, it's not too bad at all. The print on it, as you can see, it's actually not bad. You know, down here, of course, when you get to your seatbelt cutter, you are going to have some print. But it's really not bad. As I was saying, I can stick my hands in my pocket. On the concealed side of it, I'll show you right here. I don't have a super long shirt on, but with it fitting all the way down in your pocket, you will be able to at least conceal that aspect of it if you were to put it anywhere else on your person. So that's good. Now, again, one more time. You're looking right here. Pull out. Trigger is right there. Bam. And guys, you're ready to ride. Alright, so not too bad in the pocket. For an everyday carry, this is definitely the way to go. Now, they do make some without the glass breaker or the seatbelt cutter. Don't know if you want to go that route. But with me, I would go that route just because this thing is a little sharp. However, when I pull it out of the pocket, my trigger is right there, and I can sit there and cut on whatever I want. I like that aspect of it. Now, with your drop point blades, it's going to be your traditional everyday carry blade right here. And what a drop point is it's basically you take your finger or whatever, and if you follow the spine of that blade, it's just going to be a gradual slope all the way down to the tip. Now, that's going to give you more control. You can actually do detailed work. Now, it's not going to be as sharp when you point, but a lot of hunters like to use them, so if they stab into an animal, they're not puncturing, organs or whatever. So, this is a great utility knife as well because of the control you can have on this blade. That's a good thing. Now, to test out the sharpness of this thing, guys, it might not be too bad. I just got some hairs. I don't know if you can see them on that blade right there. But that glare is killing it on that blade. However, let's go see how sharp this thing really is. Alright, so let's see how this thing does with a single cut right here. So, if I can get it to catch, which it does, guys, for it to be right out of the box like this, it's really not bad. And I think this is a $12 knife. Bam. I mean, of course, you're not getting clean cuts, but this thing does grab. So, now what I want to do is go check out the point and the cut down of this knife. Alright, so I'm feeling pretty good because of the reviews of this thing that it is going to be at least fairly sharp, so let's give it a shot. Now, on the cut down, catches just fine. Boom, slices. Not too bad, guys. Let's try it now at an angle. Still catches fine. A little bit of rips there with the angle cutting, but not bad. Now, with a drop point, you're not going to have such a sharp tip, but let's see. Definitely has a little bit of push, but not much at all. Slice down, clean cuts all the way through it. And guys, this thing is pretty dadgum sharp. Alright, so as you can see, for a cheaper knife like this, the blade is not terrible. So right out of the box, definitely if you threw it on a sharpener once or twice. Now if you're carrying it for a long time, given the fact that it's a stainless steel, you're definitely going to have to keep an edge on it. However, right out of the box, it's really not bad at all. So, what I did like about the blade is that it didn't have a whole lot of push, and the belly is so large. So what I want to do is go see how long this blade is, how long the knife is, and how much it weighs to get a better idea of if I really want to use this as an everyday carry. So let's go ahead, let's get the weight and measurements of this thing. Alright, so got the scale here zeroed out. Let's see how much this thing weighs. So 5.2, wow. So yeah, that is a little on the heavy side. Wow, yeah, 5.2. So, unless I'm going crazy, I don't see this being a super long knife. Let's see what we're looking at here. Counting the glass breaker is going to be right at 8 inches. So, yeah, that is a super heavy knife. Now, with the blade, we're going to be looking at 3 inches right there. And with your sharpness, yeah, 3-inch blade on it. And you could go 3.5, but down here it's not really going to matter where your choil is. And then fully closed, we've got 4.5 inches and then 4 3/4 inches really because of that top part that's given a little bit. But that whole thing is going to sit down in your pocket rather nice. So guys, the measurements on it are fine. It's just a tad heavy for an EDC. Okay, so it is a little on the heavy side when you think of everyday carry knives, but it's because of this extra weight they have added down here at the bottom. But it's really not a deal breaker, guys. This thing is a simple everyday carry knife, and if you're looking just for one to beat up and to really just work with all the time, this might be the way to go. It seems to lock fine, and it's got everything you could really want. No serration on there, which I like personally with my everyday carries. I don't like the half serrations, but if you needed to cut rope or something, it's probably good for that aspect. But guys, this isn't a bad knife. The pros on it, I mean, they're all over the place. The speed of the trigger is really good. It's made well. It's a super simple knife. The con is only, this could just be me. As I'm holding the knife on the cut down, I have that glass breaker sticking in my palm, which I don't like. And if I flip it to a defensive stance, I like to have my thumb right there. And I can normally do it with some of them, but this one just seems to be a little bit too sharp. So I would have to move it down. And with me, I don't really get a whole lot of control like that. I like to have my thumb there on that. Other than that, that's really not that big a deal. This thing is really cool. So, super simple, guys. The thumb studs, let's see. Yeah, it's a larger knife. There it goes. So the one-hand deployment right there, one-hand close, you're not going to have a problem. So guys, hope this review helped some. I know it was super simple, but this is a super simple knife. So I will leave the link in the description if you want to go check it out. And if you've already been looking at it, you can just hit that link. It'll take you right to this thing. But this is the TacForce 434, the TF434. Super popular knife on Amazon, if not the most popular when it comes to just volume of sales because of the sales rank on it. But I can see why. So guys, hope the review helped some. If it did, hit the like button. Let us know in the comments section. And if you want a chance to win a knife like this, go check out our Friday night knife giveaways. We give away knives every single Friday. And all you do is subscribe and leave a comment. It's super simple. So if you want to go check that out, go ahead and do it. I'll see you there. And if not, I'll see y'all in the next one.
Everybody, Product Probes back at you, and we have got a neat one today. Scott Rick, one of our subscribers, actually recommended this knife, so we went ahead and bought the knife. So Scott Rick, hope you're watching the video, hope you like it, and without further ado, let's go ahead and get started. Right off the bat, guys, I'm actually really impressed with this knife, and what I mean by that is this trigger is effortless. I mean, it is absolutely just easy. I mean, you just tap on the thing and it opens right on up really good. Let's go ahead and go over some details real quick. Alright, so starting up near the blade is a drop point blade, and what I mean by that is
I guess if this wasn't cut out up here, you start up at the top of the blade, and you've got a real gradual drop right down here, or right up here, I guess you could say. So that's a drop point blade compared to a clip point, which kind of staggers off really quickly. Got a real nice belly down here on the bottom, real large belly, so lots of cutting surface area down here. With the drop point still, you're not going to have as sharp of a point, but for this actually, it's got a rather sharp point, so I'm kind of excited about that. Moving our way up the blade, you kind of got a little cutout up here, as well as some thumb grooves right up there, some thumb grip. So when you're cutting, you actually get a real nice feel. It actually has really good grip. Got your black oxidized stainless, or not stainless steel, aluminum handle right here. I actually thought it was plastic at first, but after actually looking at it, it's actually aluminum. The grip on this thing actually really surprised. It's got a really, really good grip, both this way. The grip isn't as good this way because you kind of got this little piece right here which kind of comes down, which is meant for holding it out this way. So the defensive aspect to it isn't as great. Alright, so the reason this is cut out up here is because it's, I guess you could use it for aesthetics, but also to balance the weight out on the knife. So maybe when you're holding it, it's not as heavy up here in the actual blade of the knife. So it has a really nice balanced feel to it. As you can see, the grips in here, it's got really nice, I don't know if you can see that, right, that, I guess not. But it's kind of got a wavy look to it. It's actually got really nice grip, really impressed by that, as well as the ridges up here at the top. And it's also cut out in here, probably also for weight balance, and finally got your lanyard hole in the back right there, which is super nice. And then back here, you've got your belt clip. And I can already tell, guys, this is going to fit really nicely in the pocket. The belt clip is really far up on the knife, so you're not going to have a problem with it in the pocket. And lastly, assisted trigger with your liner lock right in there. What I mean by the liner lock is there's a piece that kind of comes out, so you kind of got to push that in, and the blade closes real nice. Show you that one more time. Open it up, one hand assist. Super good. I mean, just super easy knife, really comfortable, and it's good looking. One thing I forgot to mention as well was that the blade up here, stainless steel, cadmium coated. And what I mean by that cadmium coating is, it's coated in this element, and it's got this rainbow effect to it. I don't know if you can see that in the light right there, but it's a really nice looking knife overall. One thing I'm kind of curious about is the sharpness. I'm gonna go ahead and pull up my sleeve real quick and see if we can't get any. Oh my, guys, this thing is a definite winner. I can shave with this knife. I just shaved all the hairs off on my arm. I'm not sure if you can see that in the close-up right there. Right up here, there's a bunch of hairs. Really excited. Let's go ahead and test out the sharpness.
Alright, so really curious to see how the thing's going to hold up on a piece of paper. Really got high expectations for it. Got product photos been here with a piece of paper. Let's go ahead and see what we're dealing with. So we got this right here. Oh, alright, my bad. Guys, that is like a hot knife going through butter. No problem whatsoever. Let's test it out one more time. Almost said hot butter going through knife again. Effortlessly, no tears whatsoever. A little tear right there. But guys, really impressed. Want to go ahead and test out the point on this knife. I'm kind of curious, being that it's a drop point. Don't have super high expectations, but let's see what we're doing. Yep, there is a little bit of catch right there. But you know what? For being a drop point, you're going to get that. But on the cut down, I mean, it don't get much better than that, guys. This thing is an $8 knife. Guys, I don't even know. I'm at a loss of words right now. This thing is probably one of the sharpest knives we've done on Product Probes. $8, you can't beat it.
You're gonna have no problem with the sharpness on this knife. You won't even have to run it through a sharpener right out of the package. I mean, this is probably one of the sharpest knives we've done on Product Probes. Not even gonna lie. This thing is super sharp. Really impressed with things so far. It's got great reviews, and for an $8 knife, you can't beat it. So far, so good. Next thing I want to check out is this pocket clip. I mean, let's see how beefy this thing is. Not super beefy, but I can already tell it's going to have a real nice snug fit in the pocket. Super far up on the knife. Let's go ahead and check it out and see what we're looking at.
Alright, kind of curious to see how this is going to fit on in, especially with it being super high on the knife. Slides in, no problem. And it slides up. There's literally no knife showing at the top right there. Got a jacket on. The concealed side to it is very nice. Super lightweight in the pocket too, kind of move it around and can't even feel it. Printing is not bad either. I'm wearing jeans right now and you can barely even see that right there. So it is a nice little slender knife, which is nice, not super bulky. Pull it out. You're going to have a little bit of a catch. Let's see what that's on, but pull it out. Guys, this thing is awesome. I'm just really impressed by this thing. I want to see what that card on right there. So you got it right here. Got to pull it out. Yeah. Slides in, out, super easy. That's that.
They did a really good job designing the belt clip on this knife. Really impressed with all the aspects on that. And it was super lightweight in the pocket too. So one thing I'm actually kind of curious about is how much this thing is going to weigh and actually how long this thing is. So let's go ahead, let's go get the ruler, the scale, and check this thing out.
All right, I'm curious to see how much this thing's really gonna weigh, because when I felt it in the pocket, this thing was super lightweight, especially with it being aluminum and stainless steel. So let's go ahead, drop it on the scale, and see what we're dealing with. 4.8 ounces. That is actually relatively light for the knife size that it actually is. I'm guessing it's a little over 8. Around 8 inches usually. If we kind of look at around 5 ounces, which should be about average for pocket knives. But let's go ahead and grab the ruler and see what we're dealing with. So the total length of the knife opened up, wow, it's almost 9 inches. So for it to be 4.8 ounces and to almost be a 9-inch knife is actually really, really good. The length of the blade itself, starting from right here, you're looking around 4 inches, and close you are dealing with the little landed hole right here. You're dealing with 5 inches. So, like that up to 9. Really impressed with how big this thing is and to actually be that weight. I am thoroughly impressed with this knife, guys. Probably the best bang for your buck. Only $8 on Amazon. I'll leave that link down in the description below if you want to go check it out. Would highly recommend it. This thing is just all aspect of it. You can't beat it. Super fast blade. Super sharp blade. The pocket clip on the design on it is, you can't beat it. Super nice and feel in the pocket. Lightweight. And for it being 8.5 inches and to only be 4.8 ounces, I mean, you just can't beat it. It's probably one of my favorite knives I've ever reviewed, just because it's super simple, super good looking too. The aesthetics on it is not bad. I honestly would recommend this thing for an everyday carry, not gonna lie. I mean, besides the rainbow effect, everyone might not dig the cadmium coating on there, but I'm sure, I think they sell different colors on there. This is just the rainbow one, but I'm sure they have just regular colors on there, so go ahead and check that out as well. I mean, that's about it for the review, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Be sure to tune in every Friday night around 5, 6 o'clock. We're doing a live stream on our Friday night knife giveaways, and after that, we're going to be doing a Friday night knife kind of hangout question and answer. So go ahead, make sure you check that out. Click the bell, make sure so you get the notifications whenever we get a video or whenever we're live streaming, because we're starting to do that more and more often, trying to just build our way up to the top. Really appreciate all your support. And also, we just got done with social media, so go ahead and check out our Twitter, our Instagram. We're working on the website right now, but we will get that up running shortly. And that's about it, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed the review, and we'll see you on the next one.
Hi guys, Product Pro Ben here, and today I brought y'all a Tac Force pocket keychain knife. It's rainbow colored. It looks like a skull. It looks really cool. I'll give y'all a close-up real quick. Y'all can see that. It's for a keychain you put on your keys, and it looks like a key. So I think it comes with a knife, little blade, a little pocket knife blade, which is not too sharp, but the edge is really sharp, which is cool. And then another cool thing about it is it comes with a fingernail filer. So hold up, let me put this one away. I'm not sure. There we go. So as you can see, so it's a fingernail filer, and it comes at the edge with, I guess it's like a cuticle pusher or something to push your cuticles back, or to clean your fingernails with to get up under there. I guess, yeah, I think so. I think that's what it is. So it's really handy, and it's really light. So let's get the weight. Wow, 1.1 ounces. I told you it's really light. This thing is really cool. Let's get the length. So all closed up, looking at about 2.5. Let's take the blade out, little blade. Oh, that's the. Let's do the toenail, fingernail filer first, I guess. So that all the way out, 4 inches and a quarter. And I'm guessing the knife will be about the same, maybe a little bit longer. Yeah, 4.5 inches. So yeah. Let's see how sharp this thing is, because I'm really interested in it. Alright. Oh. I mean, the initial, like, once you get in, oh, there we go. It's not bad. I mean, it's a little blade, and it's in a key. This goes on your keychain, so for its sharpness wise, I think it's okay. I mean, you're not supposed to expect a freaking samurai sword or something sharp blade in a little pocket keychain, but I like it. Let's see what it looks like on a keychain. Alright, so let's put this on the keychain. Alright. So as you can see, it kind of looks like a regular key. I mean, if you look at the other way, it's another key. What you don't know is, bam! I can sharpen my nails. Yeah. And then, oh my god, is somebody trying to get in my car? Let me pull my keys out real quick and just, ooh. Watch out, bro. I got a little key knife. Never saw that coming, did you? Oh yeah. Alright, let's see what it looks like on a belt buckle. Alright, so this is what it looks like in the belt buckle. As you can see, it looks like a regular key. I mean, nothing too different. I mean, like a cool key, a rainbow key with a skull design. Like, yo, what's up? I got my skull key. But really, I mean, it's a fingernail filer on the go. Look at that. Sharpen my nails. Nails not looking too good. Don't worry, y'all. I got my little hidden key sharpener. Got some dirt under my nails. No worry. Got my little hidden key knife blade thing. And need to cut a string. No worries. Cut that string. Get out of there. I really like this thing. It looks cool. It is cool. It's light. I really like it. Alright, y'all. My overall little thesis, ending conclusion is I really like this knife. I mean, it's really handy. I mean, you could use this wherever you go, wherever you bring your keys. If you need to get dirt under your fingernails, if you need to sharpen your fingernails, if you need to cut something real quick, cut some rope. If y'all are messing around using rope, you can cut it real quick. I mean, I think it'd be able to do that, some small rope. Yeah, overall it's a handy little on-the-go pocket knife, really easy to conceal. And, I mean, yeah, I like the skull design. I think it's got my approval. I'd use this every single day. I like it. Like and subscribe if you liked the video. This has been Product Probes Ben. Thank you very much.
Alright guys, we're here doing another knife review. This is the TacForce 434T. It looks pretty interesting, so I bought one off of, I think it was Amazon, so I'm going to go ahead and open it up and check it out. Heard a lot of good things about it, so I'm hoping it'll really stand out. Wow, this thing's actually pretty neat. There we go. First impression, it is very heavy, which I mean, as you can tell, it's a bigger knife. It's definitely very well made. It looks like a maybe aluminum handle, and oh wow, it's really fast, the trigger on that thing. The knife itself actually looks really cool. I like how the blade kind of has those sharp little edges to them. Let me get a little closer. Looks good. Nice little belt clip on there. Let's see. Okay, this one's not as bad as some of the other ones. I know sometimes they're a lot stiffer, but this one seems about just perfect. The blade itself, it's got two thumb studs on there. Half the blade seems to be serrated right here, and then we got the straight edge right there. On the back side of the blade, let me close this thing up. It's real easy to close, actually. That's got the liner lock on there. You got your seatbelt cutter and your glass glass breaker on there. So this thing's pretty much, it's got it all. It's got a real nice handle, got a good grip right here. I'm gonna get a close up on that grip. You can see it's got little grip right here too for your thumb, and this is kind of just for your hand right here. But I mean, it's not the fastest lock, open, but it's pretty simple. It's not too extra. Oop. There we go. You get a little flick, it goes out a little faster, but I really like the blade itself, just the way it looks really nice. Let's go ahead and get some measurements on it. Alright, the length of the total knife, it is a larger knife. With the thumb stud, we're looking at about 8 1/4, which is a larger knife, but I mean, as you can see, it's definitely for some heavy duty stuff. The knife itself, the blade, you're looking at almost 3 1/2, maybe 3 1/4. The serrated part of it, you're looking at about 1 1/4, and then the straight blade, I know it kind of angles up like that, but you're looking at about 2 inches. The length of the knife closed, you're looking about 4 1/2 inches. It's pretty heavy, so I'm really anxious to see what the weight is. I'm thinking like 5 or 6 ounces, but let's get the exact measurements on it. Open it up. We're looking at about, 5.3 ounces. So I mean, it's not super heavy, but it is heavier than some of the other knives that we've reviewed. Not a problem. I'm not gonna lie, I really like this thing. It just looks really nice. You can tell when you feel it in your hands. It's really well made. It's got a fast trigger on there. Got the liner lock right there. Good grip. Seatbelt cutter. Glass breaker. I mean, it's got everything. On top of all that, it's got a real nice belt clip, which we'll show here in a minute as it in the pocket. But yeah, this thing's really nice. Let's go see what it looks like in the pocket. Alright guys, here's what it looks like in the pocket. It actually slides in there really nicely. I'll show you that here in a second. Pull it out. You're good to go, but let me show you how easily this thing slides in there. I mean, it's easy. I mean, I know you're not really seeing any of the concealed side because these aren't jeans, but if you had it right up here, I mean, that fit in there real nicely. Concealed up there. I mean, you're not going to see anything. This thing's not bulky at all, which is what I really like about it. It's nice thin, but yet you can tell it's really well made. Slides in there like that, come out, you're ready to go. Overall guys, this is probably one of the nicest knives that I've gotten from Tac Force. Probably a 10 out of 10 for me. I'm just really liking the way this thing looks. It's got every attachment except for maybe an LED light. But I mean, other than that, this thing's loaded. I mean, nice little, survival thing. You got every attachment on there that you need. I'm really impressed. Like, not gonna lie, I really didn't have high expectations for it. Just some of the pictures that made it look kind of cheap. But now that I opened it up, this thing is really cool. If you guys like this knife review, please drop a like, subscribe, and we will see you next time.
Hi guys, Product Pro Ben here, and today we're reviewing a ceramic knife. Let's get into it. So, first thing I noticed, it's pretty light. Second thing, the trigger's really fast. It's auto assisted. It's got a double thumb stud, so that helps you open it up. So you could do it on both sides. Third thing I noticed is the belt buckle's pretty heavy. See how it is in my hand. Really good grip. Let's just slice it at whatever you're using the knife for. It's really good grip. Let's go on to the length. So closed, we got about 5 1/2 inches. With the blade open, 7 1/2 inches, and then just the blade itself, around 2 1/2 inches. get the weight. That is 5 ounces. Like I said, it's a pretty light knife. So, I'll give you a closer look at it. You can tell the beefy belt buckle. I don't know if I like the red. It just makes it look kind of silly. But other than that, the knife looks really nice, really clean. Alright guys, let's get the sharpness. Oh, hold up. The grip here is really nice. So when you want to cut something, it's really easy to just get into it. I'm going through, oh my god. This is, are y'all seeing this? I know y'all are, it's a camera, but this thing is sharp. Alright, so here's a look of it in the pocket. First thing I notice is it's hard to pull out. And it's hard to put back in the pocket. There's the dowel. Let's look at the concealment. Not too bad. You see the belt buckle, but I think you'd see that on every single knife. But other than that, it's a really good knife. Alright guys, my overall review of this Karambit knife is approved. I like the grip, I like the weight, I like how it feels in my hand. It's an overall good knife, nice knife, clean knife, and its sharpness is insane. Oh my god, watch out. If you like this knife, and if you like our reviews, like and subscribe. This is Product Probe Ben.
What is going on, everybody? Product Probes Christian back at you. Got the TF800 Speedster model by TacForce. Thing is actually pretty cool, and by the name of it, it is an extremely fast knife. Let's get into it. Alright, right off the bat, like I was saying, this thing is a really fast knife. Give you guys a quick little close-up on the whole thing real quick. Just a sleek, all-black knife. It looks really nice. I'm going to give you a little closer up here. Really nice blade right there, along with a really nice handle. Let's kind of go over some of the features we got. Alright, we got a drop point right up here at the top, and what I mean by that is, see how the blade gradually kind of has a little dip right there? That's a drop point. Got a really nice belly on this thing, pretty large belly right here. As you can see, kind of comes out just a hair. Has a real nice curve right there. Real nice belly on there. Black oxidized stainless steel. It's probably that 440 typical stuff. Half straight, half serrated. So it's a pretty multifunctional knife here. And you've got your double thumb studs right here at the top. Let me show you that trigger one more time. That one was not as good. Let's try that one more time. Yeah, really fast trigger on there. Got your liner lock right in there. Let that focus up. Liner lock right there. So all you got to do is push that lock down to close the knife. Let's see if I can do a one-handed open, close, no problem. Super simple. Really just really nice overall knife. Alright, moving our way down the blade. Got some really nice grip right up here. Let me just show you this. It's got a really nice overall grip. Kind of a tactical position right here. Has really nice grip. Especially right up here at the top of the knife where that little thumb ramp is. Let's see what else. Got your kind of some grips down here. Not for all 4 fingers, but it's kind of like gradually got 2 little slots right there, which is nice. And this texture right here, it's more of a hard plastic handle, so it is lightweight, but it's not that cheap plastic. It's just a real nice plastic, and it's got this really nice texture. I don't know if you guys can see that in the camera right in here, but that feels really nice. And anything on the back here? Nope. Oh, and last but not least, you've got your stainless steel belt clip right here. Let's see. It's loose. I could actually show you guys right here. It's actually pretty tight, pretty beefy. Let's go check out the sharpness on this thing. Let's see if I can't get any hairs right here. Oh yeah, I'm already getting some hairs. I don't know if you guys are going to be able to see this up close on the camera. Let that focus in. Yeah, I don't know if you can see in the light right there, but right there, pretty much shaven with this thing. Let's go check it out on some paper. Let's go ahead and get the sharpness on this thing. Was getting a couple hairs, so I'm actually got some high expectations for this thing. Let's get our piece of paper and test it out real quick. I'm going to hold it right up here and kind of... Alright, had a little trouble getting in there. Let's try that one more time. Once you got in there, it's actually super sharp. I think it's a little difficulty getting into the blade. Just seems to have a little trouble catching. Let's try that one more time. I mean, it just seems to weirdly catch sometimes. Let's go ahead and test out the point. Not predicting too much since it's the drop point, but it's still got that's a decent blade. It requires a little bit of punching in there, but once you get in there, I don't know if you guys can see that, but I mean, once you get into that paper, it actually does a really good job of tearing down with very little. I guess there is a little bit of rip. So, I mean, to come out of right out of the package like this, it's really not too bad at all. Alright guys, really nice right out of the box, extremely sharp, really impressed with this thing so far. One thing I kind of want to dive deeper into is this pocket clip, or I guess you could say belt clip, some people would say it differently. It's really beefy, it actually really kind of curious to see how this thing's going to hold up in the pocket. Let's go check that out. Let's go ahead, slide this thing down in the pocket, see what we're looking at. Pretty beefy off to start with, so it wasn't too bad getting into it, but the first thing I can really see right here, see how low this is on the actual knife right here. There's a solid inch of just knife sticking out right there, and I really don't like that. I wish the belt clip were a little bit farther up on the blade, or on the knife right here, so to say, to where all that knife really goes down in there. But so let's kind of look at the concealed side of it. Like I'm saying, you can still see kind of the belt clip right there, and I'm wearing a rather large shirt, so that's kind of a minus right there. The printing is not too bad. It's I guess it's, you can kind of see it right there with khakis. Maybe I don't know about jeans, but there's a decent amount of printing, but this thing is super lightweight in the pocket. I mean, I can barely feel this thing kind of just moving like this. I mean, I'm kind of sure it's because of that plastic handle, but it is a super lightweight knife, which is really nice. When you pull it out, it is a little difficult to pull it out. Let me see if I can do that with one hand. Yeah, it kind of tugs right there, so it is a pretty beefy belt clip, but the trigger is right there, and you're good to go. So in the pocket, I don't really like how it sticks out that far, but I mean, not a deal breaker for me. But one thing is, it's super lightweight. Could barely even feel that thing in my pocket. So what I want to go ahead and do is go get the scale, go get the what you call it, kind of tongue-tied here. Go get your ruler, and let's check out the measurements on this bad boy. All right, let's go ahead and throw this thing on the scale, see what we're looking at. 4.4 ounces. So for the size of the knife, it's really nice and lightweight. I'm guessing because of the handle right here. It's not aluminum or steel, it's more of a plastic, but it's a nice plastic, not some of that cheap stuff that you usually get with some of your cheaper brands. But I really like this. Let's try that one more time. 4.4 ounces, so we're going to stick with that. Let's go over here, grab our ruler, see what we're checking out on the size of the knife. Fully opened, we're looking right at about, I guess you could say 8 1/4. Think of the blade, you're looking right around 3.5, and closed you should be right at around 4.5 inches. So relatively large knife, and to only be 4.4 ounces, super impressed. For the size of the knife, it's super lightweight actually, right at 4.5 ounces, and it's, I mean, relatively large knife. I really think this would be a nice everyday carry knife. It's super. It's got all of the different features you could ask for. Double blade, or double serration, straight blade right here. Super lightweight, really nice grip on here. It's just really a nice look to it too. I really like the all black scheme you got going on, and the grip on it is really nice as well compared to some aluminum knives where the handles are all aluminum and your hands start sweating. This is really not as bad for this one. But I'm going to go over the features one more time, give you guys one more last close-up on this thing. I mean, just look at that thing. All black, sleek, matte black. It looks super nice. Stainless steel blade. Drop point, big belly. Got your serrated and non-serrated portions of the blade. Double thumb studs. Grip for your thumbs up here. Grip down here for your fingers. Liner lock. Super fast trigger. I'll show you guys that one more time. Super fast. Close with one hand. Super easy. Moving your way down the knife. Got this really nice texture back here on this plastic handle. Let that focus in. Let's try that. There we go. There we go, right there. Really nice texture right here on the handle. Really nice quality material right there. And then finally got your belt clip down there. Well, that's it, guys. This was the TF800 Speedster model by Tac Force. Really impressed. I'll leave the link down in the description where you can get one of these bad boys. Highly recommend it. And make sure to check out the Friday night knife giveaways. We were giving away a knife like this every single Friday night. All you got to do is go to the video, subscribe, and do a comment down in the comment section below, and you're eligible to receive a knife just like this every single Friday night. That's all you got to do, folks. All right. Hope you enjoyed the video. Remember to like, subscribe, and we'll see you on the next one. Really impressed with this knife so far. What else we got going on here? I mean, just a really overall nice knife, guys. Give this thing. Now redo that. I was gonna What's going on, everybody? Product Probes
back at you with another knife review. And today we're doing the White Joker knife from Tac Force. It's the TF457, I believe. Now we've done the black one, but this one seems to be a lot faster than the black one. So let's dive into it. Let's see what this thing's got. Alright, so right off the bat, I can tell that this trigger was a lot faster than the black style one. I doubt the color has anything to do with it. I'm sure it's just the handle. But the trigger is actually a lot better. So, let me give you some close-ups on this thing real quick. Alright, so, you got your spear pointed blade up here with a blood groove. Got Tac Force right up there. No, what am I talking about? That's not Tac Force. Joker. If I look at it in the camera, it's reversed. I think, am I losing my mind? Yeah, Joker. And then Why So Serious right down there beneath it. Got a nice white handle. Standard liner lock right there in the middle. Nice belt clip on these. I remember that, yeah, they're pretty strong. They're actually really strong. But it actually doesn't affect the slide in and out of the pocket, which I'll show y'all here in just a second. And right here, simple to close, one hand deployment, one hand close again, just like that. And the arrow is what I call this thing. The trigger, it's seems to be a little bit higher than the other one on the black knife, because that was a problem. It was hard to get your finger onto the trigger, but this one, you can actually get it on there pretty good, and it flips on open. Got your all stainless steel blade, of course. I don't think that it's probably 440 if I had to guess. It seems pretty sharp. Again, right here, this isn't a lanyard hole. I guess technically it would be, but you can't really use it to clip anything, because if you were running something in between there, I know that it looks like a bar is behind it, but that's the one behind it. But if you were to run like a string or keychain or something to that, when you go to close that knife, look at this. It's going to close down right there on it. So that doesn't make a whole lot of sense. And if you were to even do it reversed, have something through there, you're not going to be able to open the knife. And looking at it, there's really not enough room in here to get something to hang on one side of it. So I'm guessing this is just for looks. I can't see any other purpose for that except to give you the false, illusion or whatever that it is a lanyard hole. However, it's a pointless lanyard hole because you won't be able to close or open the blade if you use it. Blood groove is pretty cool, right down here, all the way down. Spearhead blade, which I've already mentioned. So, guys, it's just like the Black Joker. If you haven't seen it, this one pops a little bit more in the camera, but overall it seems to be faster. The blade on it, well, am I losing my mind? This blade is actually getting some hairs off my arm, so I don't know if that was a fluke or what, because, let me show y'all this. I just saw this. Unless I was covering it up wrong, you might not could see it, but there was a chip at the top of this blade. There's a small chip right in there. Golly, my camera's not going to get close enough to do it. So, it's just a small chip right up there at the top of the blade, which could have been from anything, but you would think, shipping it like this, how's that blade getting hit? Unless somebody already opened it, or it was around when it was manufactured and it got chipped. But anyway, let's go ahead and let's see how sharp this blade is. Alright, fast. This thing is pretty fast, y'all. But what we want to see is how sharp this blade is. With the spear type blades like this, you normally have a sharper point with them. It does have a little bit of a bigger drop than your standard drop point. So that's going to be a plus. Now let's see if this blade will catch on a piece of paper. Let's go straight first with it. Hey, that's not too bad. Let's try it at an angle. Yeah, it's not really gonna want to catch at an angle. Now that time was a little better. Some ripping right there. Let's come straight again with it. Yeah, so you can get it to catch on a straight cut, but with your side cut, given it is a longer blade, by the time you get it started, you know, you're only going to have probably that much of a cut with your angle cut with it catching. But that's still not terrible for a cheaper knife. Now, let's check out the point on this thing. Yeah, that's not bad at all. So, with the cut down, that seemed to be a little bit of a cleaner cut. Do have some minor tears in there, but nothing like what I thought it would be. So, really, the only problem is catching it. It's catching it in my hand like that. But catching it on an angle seems to be the only downside for this cheap little knife right out of the box. Alright, so this blade is actually really sharp. Golly, I almost cut myself right there. Super fast trigger, but right out of the box, this thing is not bad for a cheaper knife like this. The balance on it is, it's so-so. I'm more this way, and you would think with the aluminum handle and the stainless steel blade that your balance would be flipped like this, but what helps it out is that stainless steel pocket clip. This thing is beefy. So, if you look right here, I mean, guys, this thing is solid. And that's what's giving it the weight distribution, which is kind of making it balance out. I'm having to go a little bit more to the back, which actually weighs more. So, that's actually a plus with this. So, you're not going to have a knife that's going to be top heavy like this. However, it feels super lightweight. So, let's go see how much this thing weighs, and let's get some dimensions on it as well. Alright, let's go ahead and get the weight on this thing real fast. And it is, hey, that's not too bad right there. Yeah, 4 even. So, you know, it could be a little bit lighter, but the thing that's weighing it down, I know, is going to be that stainless steel, you know, belt clip right here. But 4 ounces, that's not too bad. Let's get some measurements on it real quick. So, boom, let's open this bad boy up. And if I can get the zoom in, it looks like we're going to be 8 inches. So, that's not too bad right there at all. About a 3 1/4 inch blade on it, so a little over 3 inches, which is pretty good. Now, let's see what we've got closed. Yeah, 4 1/2. So that's a little odd. Let's check this again. I guess because you're looking at blade length, but it's going to be coming on down here, but your blade starts there. So 3/4 inch, but you could make it 3 1/2 inches if you come on out. But that's, you know, they're giving you a 1/4 inch on the blade. However, if I can get my camera to zoom, come on, focus right. Your blade's going to cut off right here, and that's where they're adding that extra 1/4 inch on the details of it. So just know that it is a 3 1/4 inch, I guess I could say it like that, inch blade and not a 3 1/2 inch blade on the knife. But it is 8 inches overall. So guys, not too bad of measurements on this little knife. So as you can see, good dimensions on it. It doesn't weigh hardly anything for a knife this size. What's giving it that extra weight is definitely going to be the stainless steel, you know, belt clip. The thing is beefy. I know I keep saying it, but belt clip is actually pretty good on this. So the next thing, I guess since we're talking about it, let's go see what this thing looks like in the pocket. Alright, let's see what this thing looks like in the pocket. That beefy belt clip, it actually slides in rather nice. I'll show y'all right over here. Now, of course, you can see you got a good bit sticking out of your pocket. So this is actually what it's going to look like in your pocket. I'm not crazy about that, but Slides out fine. The trigger is right there. One hand closed. Slides in just fine. I mean, you don't have to pull the belt clip out or anything. But it's going to show right here. Now, the concealed side of it, it's a little bit shorter shirt, but you're not going to get a good concealed side out of this knife. The print on it, yeah, print on it's pretty good, but again, with that much sticking out, being white, I mean, it's obvious you're carrying a knife. So, like I said, it slides out fine. Slides in fine, but people are going to know that you're carrying a knife when you carry this white joker. So, this is actually a pretty cool knife. I like the white one better. And it could, you know, they're all probably the same when it comes down to it. This one seems to be a little faster, and as I keep playing with it, it's popping on out even quicker. So, if I had to compare, you know, the purple one that we did and the black one, I like this one. I might try to find them and do a little comparison on them just to see if I'm going crazy or not. But this one just seems to be a little bit better. The weight on it's fine. I like the size of the blade. You know, the belt clip, it's super beefy, but it's not as bad as I thought it would be. So that's a good thing. I don't know, I guess the downside, of course, is going to be this little lanyard hole that has no purpose at all. You know, it slides in and out of the pocket just fine. And other than that, I mean, this little knife for the price is not bad. So, guys, hope that helped some. If it did, let me know in the comments section below, and I will see y'all in the next one.
Listen!
Alright guys, this is Product Probes Christian here today, and we will be reviewing the TF778 BC knife. Let's open it up. Well, from the looks of it, it's very simple, nice little clean knife. It's pretty light, not too bad. Opens up real nice and fast. The open assist on it's really nice, real fast actually. Kind of a little texture right here just for grip. Real nice knife. The belt clip on it. Ooh. Pretty sturdy. Real nice. Got a little keychain hole right there just in case you wanted to do that. Like I said, real light. Something about it's real nice. Super light. Let's get some measurements on it. Alright, well, closed, we are looking at about 4 inches on the dot. Opened, we're looking at about 7.5 inches. And the blade itself is about 3 1/4. So, pretty small, compact knife, ain't too bad. Let's get some, alright, let's get the weight on this thing. We're looking at about 4.8 ounces, which is pretty light considering the size of this knife. It's, like I said, not super big, but nice little carry around pocket knife. I would definitely be carrying this thing around. It's not like some of the other knives we reviewed that's very bulky and kind of like that. Overall, I really do like this knife. I mean, I'm not saying it's the sharpest looking knife. I mean, it definitely looks nice, but it's just pretty simple. We'll get some examples about see how sharp the knife is on some paper in a little bit. But yeah, it's got little thumb numbers right there for your finger. Not too bad. Open assist on it is really nice. Let's see how sharp this thing is. Alright, let's see how sharp this thing is. So let's just insert. Wow.
Oh my gosh.
That's really nice.
Oh.
It's like butter.
Yeah, it's pretty crispy.
Wow. Well, that definitely raises my output on this thing. Super nice. Nice little simple knife. Good for everyday around carry. It's got real nice open assist on it. Real nice and clean. Let's see how it looks in the pocket. Alright guys, here's how it looks in the pocket. Like I said, not too bad. It's not super bulky. It fits pretty nice in your pocket. Pull it out. Good to go. Slides in your pocket pretty nicely without not too much of a hassle. Slides right out. Just gotta flip it around and open it up. But overall, not too bad. Let's look at it concealed. So you can't really notice it too bad. There's a little bulge right there, but that's about it. Overall, it's real nice knife. Alright guys, well for the price of the knife, I got it on Amazon. I'll drop that link in the description below. For just a nice little carry around knife, this is the way to go. Definitely real simple and just nice for everyday carry. If you enjoyed our review on the TacForce 778C knife, drop a like and we will see you next time.
Yeah. Ready? Let's go. Can I get an encore? Do you want more? Cook and roll with the Brooklyn boys.
Hey guys, this is Product Pros Christian here today, and we are back with another knife review. This is the TF848 knife. I saw it on, I think it was Amazon. I'll drop the link in a little bit in the description, but it's a lot smaller than I had expected. Let's open it up and see what it looks like. Okay. Well, it definitely looks good. The release on it's needs a little improvement, but other than that, it opens up pretty nicely. We got the thumb studs right here. It's a small knife, but it'd be perfect for like everyday use. It's not too out there. It looks just nice and clean and simple. It's just an everyday little pocket knife, which I think it'd be perfect just for everyday use. It's got a nice little belt clip. It's definitely beefy. We'll get some shots on that later. We got three little bolts right here. Like I said, we got the thumb studs right here. I'm gonna get a close up on it. But yeah, it looks good. We got some ridges right here for whenever we're using it to cut things. We got some grip right here. Let me see if you can get a little close up on that right there. Let's get some measurements on it. Alright, so fully open, we're looking at about 6 inches on the dot. The length of the blade itself, about 2.5 inches. And closed, we are looking at about 3 1/4. So overall, it's a nice little nifty little pocket knife. Let's see what the weight on this thing is. It's not too heavy. It's perfect little weight. Just perfect knife, actually. Alright, we're looking at about 3.4 ounces. Let me get let's open this up just to make sure. Yep, 3.4 ounces. So like I said, it's a reasonably weighted knife. But overall, I really like this thing. I definitely approve. This is going to be one of my favorite knives from TacForce. I mean, that simple, clean looking. It's all of that one little gray color right there. I mean, this is definitely the most optimal pocket knife I've seen from TacForce so far. It's just clean and simple. And it seems like it'd be pretty sharp. We're gonna test that out here in a second. And if you can see it's already cutting here. So let's cut this. Let me hold it right there. Oh yeah, that's cutting very easily. Definitely very sharp. I don't know if you could see that before, but I was just like doing some. You can't see the little
hairs on that right there. I don't know if you can see them too well. But, I mean, I'm just shaving off hair, arm hair, with ease. I mean, that was nothing. Wipe this off. Yeah, this thing's pretty nice. Let's go see what it looks like in the pocket. Alright guys, here is what it looks like in the pocket. Slip it on in there and oh wow, it's actually getting caught on that thumb stud. I'm not sure if it does it every time. Let's try that again. It's kind of give or take. I'm a little negative on there, but yeah, it's getting caught on that thumb stud. One thing I do like about it is when you pull it out, the trigger is right there. You know how I was saying stuff about that, but that trigger is right there when you pull it out. You get a little close up on the what it looks like in the pocket. See how you can see if it's concealed, the way it prints. Not much printing at all. I mean, it's like I said, a small knife. It's doesn't print at all. Super good concealed knife, like I said. And it feels good in the pocket. It's not too heavy. It's not too bulky. Like I said, a perfect little pocket knife. And the concealed, you know, can't even barely see it. I know I'm kind of wearing a small little shirt here. It's not super long, but not too bad. But yeah, guys, I mean, the only thing about it gets caught on that thumb stud, but other than that, when you pull it out, the trigger's right there. Super small, concealed, perfect little pocket knife. There we have it. Alright guys, this knife has my 100% approval. I just like how small this thing is for the most part, but this is the perfect pocket knife. I mean, it doesn't weigh a lot, and it's small. So if you guys like this video, drop a like, subscribe. Let me get you a little close-up one more time. Like I said, like, subscribe, and we will see you on the next one.
What's going on, everybody? Product Probes Christian back at you. Got a neat one today. This is the Tac Force 534 Karambit knife. Pretty sweet little knife. Got a cool story behind it. Let's go ahead and get into it. So we actually got this knife a couple months ago, and what happened was we went to go get thumbnails, left it down on the beach on a couple rocks in the salt water for probably a whole month. So if you notice a little bit of rust on there, that's why. But I mean, this knife is still hold up really nice. Still got a really fast trigger. I mean, other than that, you can't really notice anything besides the rust. So let me show you guys what I'm talking about. So right here at the top, the only visuals you can see of this thing not being brand new is the rust right up here in these holes up there. And I don't even know if you can see it in the camera, but there is a little bit of rust right there, and maybe on the Tac Force emblem right there, and a little bit on the back of the blade. But that's about it. Still a really cool knife. Let's go ahead, get into some of the details. So like I was saying, it's a Karambit knife. So what that means is, for those of you who may not know, it's kind of got a little bit of a bill, a hawk bill kind of thing going on right here, rather than just a straight blade. It's kind of got that curvature on the bottom right here. And I mean, it's just kind of more of a defensive tactical knife. Really not for EDC, everyday carry, EDC, but it's still a really cool knife to have. So, like I was saying, Karambit. Got these holes up here, kind of just for looks. Also can be used to bend wire if you're into that. And it got a real nice belly right here. Kind of a backwards concave belly rather than the standard convex belly. And then you've got your dual thumb stud at the top. Got your standard liner lock here on the bottom. What I mean by like a liner lock is, all you got to do, there's a piece of metal right here. So whenever you open the blade, it snaps into place, and it's going to hold that blade open. But all you got to do is push that back, opens up, closes up real nicely. And let me show you guys this trigger. This thing is extremely fast. I mean, nothing can beat this thing, guys. It's one of our fastest knives we've done on Product Probes. Just super fast, and especially for being left in the elements. It's been raining, salt water here down in Florida. Super weird weather down here, and it's held up for a whole month just sitting out on the rocks in the open. Really impressed with this thing so far. Super fast trigger. At least I can't do a one-handed open close. I'm going to close it up real quick. Simple, really easy, super nice. And moving our way down the knife, I forgot to mention this was looks like a black oxidized stainless steel blade. Got your black aluminum handle with your Karambit hole down here in the bottom. That's the only thing, I'll mention that in a second, that I really don't like about the knife. But you got your holes in here kind of for aesthetics, kind of cut that weight down. But the thing is with the Karambit hole is that you get a weird grip when you put your pinky in there. It's maybe because, I mean, I have pretty decent sized hands, but especially for people with smaller hands, that pinky kind of just feels kind of offset at the bottom right there. And it's really just uncomfortable, but if you're holding it like this, got a real nice defensive stance. You can use that, get in any type of situation, spin around a couple times, make it look cool, grab it like that, you're good to go. The grip this way, I'm really not digging the grip this way because of the hole down here. If you hold it without the pinky in the hole, it's a little bit better, but that's kind of what it's there for. But I wish it was a little bit higher up and it'd be a little better to, cut, whatnot. The grip on it isn't too bad. There's not too much grip on the knife. I'll show you guys what I mean by that. So, I mean, there's a little bit of grip up here at the top, right here, a couple ridges. I guess the holes kind of help a little bit, but it's all aluminum, so it's just going to get a little bit sweaty in your hands. And then finally, you've got your pocket clip right here. And I can already tell, you see, I'll show you guys real quick. Whenever you close the knife up, you're going to stick it in your pocket. There's going to be a good inch of knife sticking out. So that's, I can already tell, a downside on the knife. But that's really, between that and the hole down here, that's really the only thing I've got bad on the knife so far. Let's go ahead. I kind of want to check out the sharpness. I'm pretty sure this knife is still pretty sharp after being out left in the elements. See if I can't get a couple hairs. Getting a couple hairs. I mean, still, not bad. I don't know if you guys can see that in the camera. Got some dead skin, a little bit, and a couple hairs. Let's go ahead and get some paper and check this thing out. Alright, let's go ahead and get this paper, see what we're looking at on the blade. So it is a little more difficult on the blade just because it's got that curvature to get a grip on it, but let's see what we're dealing with. So let me go in at an angle right here. Like I was saying, a little more difficult to get a grip, but once you do get down in there, it's actually a really sharp blade, especially for being out this long. Let's try that one more time. Just kind of coming at an angle. A little more ripping that time. I want to try that one more time because I'm really confident I can get it in there real nice and smooth without any problem. Alright, yeah, so it's going to be a little more difficult to get a grip on it, but once you do get down in that paper, it's an extremely sharp blade. So let's go ahead and test out this point. Use the Ceramic's got a real nice point because it's got that little drop off right here. It's almost like a clip point in a way, but the Ceramic's got that hawk bill. Let's see, but you kind of have to come in at a like this just to get that good grip. So pretty decent point on here. There is a little bit of catch, but once you get in there, it's just a really sharp blade. Show you guys that one more time. I mean, very little ripping, very little tearing. There was a little problem right there, but I mean, really not a bad blade, guys. Really impressed with this. As you just saw, this thing is still really sharp, even after being left out on the beach for a whole month in the rain, salt water, still really sharp. And I'm sure if you ran into a sharpener 1, 2, 3 times, this thing would be extremely razor sharp. Really impressed with the sharpness so far. One thing I'm kind of dreading to do is going to check out these pockets, see how it feels in the pocket. Like I said earlier, it's going to stick really far up in the pocket. There's going to be probably a whole inch sticking out, and I'll show you what I mean by that one more time. So see how the pocket clip stops right here? You're going to have all this knife sticking out of the pocket. But let's go ahead and see what we're looking at in the pocket. Alright, let's go ahead and slide this thing down in the pocket, see what we're dealing with. So, slides in rather easily, and like I was saying right there, you see that bit sticking out right there? I mean, it's not as bad as I thought it was going to be, but it still is quite a bit of knife sticking out. Let's see the concealed side of it. Yeah, you can see maybe a little bit of the pocket clip hanging down at the bottom right there, but it's really not too bad. Printing is not bad at all either, just because it's a really slick, slim knife, which is real nice as well. Feels pretty lightweight in the pocket. You'd think that ceramic hole down here at the bottom will kind of get in the way and interfering with your walking and whatnot, but it's really not doing that at all. Let's see where the trigger is. Pull it out. The trigger is right there. So, not as bad as I was predicting. Let's go ahead, get back to the review. Okay, really not as bad as I thought it was going to be. Slides out and in really nice. Trigger's right there. Pretty lightweight in the pocket too. We'll check that out in just a second. But really the only downfall was that bit sticking out right there. And really, for me, it's really not a deal breaker. I'm really kind of liking this knife so far. The trigger was right there. I mean, everything just kind of went well. The printing was actually really good too, just because it's a really sleek knife. It's not super bulky, which is also another thing I like about it. But one thing I want to go check out is see how this thing weighs up on the scale and see how long this thing is. Alright, let's go ahead and throw this thing on the scale. Kind of curious to see what we're looking at here. 4.27 ounces, so a whopping 4.3 ounces. That's really, for the size of the knife, it's actually a pretty decent sized knife. It's really lightweight, so that's a definite plus. Let's go ahead and grab our ruler here. I'm guessing right around 8 inches probably with the karambit hole. So let's see, right at 7.5 inches. So almost an 8-inch knife to be only 4.27 ounces. That's a definite plus. Really impressed by that. And the length of the blade is right at 3 inches, and closed up we are looking probably around 5 inches. Yeah, just a real sick knife, guys. For being an almost 8-inch knife and to only be 4.3 ounces, this thing is actually really lightweight. Pretty impressed by that. I mean, overall, this is just a really nice knife. The fact that it's karambit, though, it's not going to suit everyone's needs. It's not really much of an EDC, more of a tactical knife to carry around. Have it right here, come around, defensive move right there. You can use it for cutting. Like I said, the thing is actually really sharp. give you guys one last close-up on this thing, kind of go over the details one more time. Alright, so you do have your Karambit style blade, hawkbill right there, holes at the top for wire bending, you got your dual thumb studs, liner lock, super fast trigger, assisted trigger, got your Karambit hole down here, aluminum handle right there, and then I forgot to mention again the stainless steel oxidized black blade right there, probably 440C. It's the standard, and your liner lock. I mean, overall, guys, just a really cool knife. Got the cool stuff going on here with the Karambit. They're actually pretty neat kind of style knife just to have, kind of defensive moves. Pretty cool. Cutting was really not that bad with this one, and the cut down's actually not too bad on this either, just because the blade kind of got to go in there like that. Pretty sick knife. That's about it for this one, guys. Remember to check out our Friday night knife giveaways. Every single Friday night, we are giving away a knife to all the subscribers. That you got. Make sure you got to subscribe, obviously. Like the video. Comment down in the comment section. I mean, you can comment anything. It could be literally anything: chicken, eggs, knife, potatoes, anything eligible to win the knife. And make sure to spread the word. Product Pros, trying to grow, gain subscribers, really just trying to be one of the best knife review channels on YouTube, making that way up to the top. We're just starting, guys. This is only the beginning. So, hope you guys enjoyed the video. Make sure to drop a like, and we will see you on the next one. What is up, guys? Product Probes Christian back at ya. Been MIA the past couple weeks, had the ACT last Saturday, and I'm pretty confident, so that's always a good thing. But today we've got a really neat one. This is the TAC Force 498 EMT knife. Let's get into it. Alright, right off the bat, I'm going to give you guys a quick little close-up right here. I mean, really nice looking knife. I mean, this thing is one sexy looking knife. We'll start from the blade and kind of work our way back. We've got a all stainless steel, kind of anodized black on the half bottom right there, and on the top we've got just a regular stainless steel. We've got our clip point. What I mean by that, you see as the blade goes down, it has a solid drop right there. That's why it's called a clip point. Usually the drop points have a gradual kind of curve right down the knife, but this one, solid drop right there, so that's why it's called your clip point. It is a half serrated, half straight blade. What I mean by that, got your serration down here and your kind of straight blade right there. So many functions to the knife. Double thumb studs right here, and what that helps you do, when you're pulling it out, sometimes the knife will kind of get stuck, and you can kind of flip it out with those thumb studs right there. But this thing is actually really smooth. Let me show you guys that one more time with this trigger. Really easy, nice, fast, clean open. You can even see the grease right there. I don't know if you can see it on the camera, but right in there you can actually see the grease. So you can tell this thing is really nice and greased up right out of the package. Furthermore, like I said, really nice, opens up really nicely, and it's got a liner lock, and in one hand, super easy to open and close. Let me show you that liner lock. What I mean by that, right in here there's a little metal piece that's kind of holding the blade in place, so all you got to do, push that back, and it releases that lock there to close that knife up. Alright, let's see what else we got on here. Got your really nice anodized orange aluminum handle here. Really nice grip on here, both ways this way. Kind of got you more defensive right here. Really nice grip. Got your finger grooves right in there on the bottom right here. Got your EMT symbol right there. Moving farther back, you've got your, where it is, let me show you that. Oh, wrong way. Got your seatbelt cutter right there. And finally, your glass breaker. Actually, not finally. We've got a really nice little stainless steel belt clip right there, and this thing actually looks really nice too, just the visual aspects of it. Really nice bright orange right there with your EMT symbol, and then you've got kind of a little tactical looking blade right here. You've got the little holes up here which can be used to bend wire and also to bring that weight down just a little bit. The blade on this thing, let's see if I can't get any hairs off of this thing. Not getting very many hairs, but let's go ahead, test it test this thing out on some paper. All right, let's go ahead, open this thing up, and see what we're looking at on some paper. Start right here, nice, clean. Okay, that wasn't too bad. But as you can see, there was a little bit of rips on the side right here. Let's try that again. Yeah, I think what I'm doing is catching the serration, so I'm going to try that one more time. Kind of keep it near the tip of the point. Alright, so it is a little bit difficult to get in and started on the knife. I'm really interested to see about this point right here because it's got a really nice point on here. Let's see what we're looking at there. Yeah, guys, really solid point on here. Get in there. Nice solid down rips right there. There is a little bit of fuzz on each side, so it's not an extremely sharp knife, but I'd say just around average, maybe a little bit above average for the knife itself. Alright, so on the sharpness aspect of it. Wasn't a super sharp knife. I mean, with the clip points, usually they have a really nice point on it because they've kind of got the little, what you would call it, since it clips off so hard right here, it gives you a really nice point for stabbing things. So as you can see, it had a really nice sharp point on there, but the actual blade itself really wasn't the sharpest. I'm sure if you ran it through a sharpener once or twice, it'd really improve on that. Next, we've got, what else we got on here? Weights and measurements. This thing, it's a pretty hefty knife, but you can tell why. It's a really durable knife, and you can really tell by just holding it. Really nice aluminum with the stainless steel. Just really durable knife. It's not going to break on you. And it's actually just a really nice sized, I guess you could say on average sized pocket knife. It's not super big, not super small. Got a decent weight to it. Let's go ahead, get the weights and measurements on this thing. Let's go ahead, throw it on the scale, see what we're looking at. So we're zeroed out, and it's going to come to 4.9 ounces. So right around average, usually with these kind of knives, they're right around 5 ounces is the nice weight you'd like to have. So just an ounce under the typical. Let's see what we're looking at on the dimensions on this thing. With the glass breaker, we're looking right at 8 inches. So, like again, typical average size pocket knife. The length of the blade is 3 inches on the dot, and closed up, we are looking right at, I'd say, 4.5, right around 5 inches. Yeah, pretty close. So, like I was saying, guys, this thing is a just average size pocket knife. It'd be a really nice everyday carry. Let's go ahead and dive deeper into this thing. Let's go ahead and slide this thing right on into the pocket, see what we're looking at. I can already tell this belt clip is a little bit loose, so it does slide in really nice, but let's see how really stable it is in there. It's going to kind of wiggle a little bit, but what I really like about this knife, so I'll show you right up here, is that the belt clip is really far up on the knife. So as you can see, there's really little knife sticking out. On the printing, there is a little bit of printing because this is a little bit of a thicker knife, but that's just because it's a really quality, nice knife. So there's a little bit of printing. I don't know if you can see that right there. And then concealed with a nice long sleeve shirt or collared shirt like this. I mean, you can't even see the thing. Walking around. I mean, it's really not that bad. It's super, I guess you could say lightweight. It feels like in the pocket. Not bad at all. Let's see, pull it out. Trigger's right there, which is really nice. We talked about that a lot. Sometimes you got to put it in there, take it out, and turn it around or flip it this way, and then pull the trigger. But with this one, you just slide it on in there. Oh, didn't catch it right there. Try that one more time. Slides on in there, nice. Pulls it out, trigger's right there, good to go. And a lot of problem we usually have with some knives like this with the dual thumb studs is the thumb studs get caught on your little edge of the pocket right here. But in this case, it does not do that at all, which is really nice. Just an overall nice knife in the pocket. Okay, really nice knife in the pocket. The only problem I really had with it was this belt clip. It is a little loose. It's not too much of a problem, but it is a little loose in the pocket. I mean, there's not much else to say about this thing. I'm really impressed. Definitely gets our approval. Really nice looking knife, really quality knife. And let me go over the features one last time with you. Got your clip point right there. Let it focus on clip point. Stainless steel blade with your black oxidation on the bottom right here and your regular stainless steel right up here at the top. Half serrated, half straight blade. With these little holes in here, it's really nice because it kind of cuts down the weight just a hair. And you've got your double thumb studs right here at the top. Really nice trigger on this thing, guys. Super fast. You can close it all with one hand. Really nice lock on there. As I was saying, it is a liner lock, and the grip on this thing is super nice. It's got those finger grooves in there, and it's just a really nice feel. The only thing is, since it's all aluminum, it is going to get a little sweaty, so usually when you have the wood or the rubber, it's not as bad, but with this, it's not too bad. And one thing I forgot to mention is, it's got a really nice little, I don't know if you can see, the little ramp right up here for your thumb. So it's got a really nice little thumb ramp that keeps it nice and secure.
Moving on down, got your anodized orange aluminum handle, really nice looking, really nice, just all the way colored to it with your EMT symbol right there. And these holes in here, kind of just for aesthetics, but also to cut down the weight just a little bit. Got your, what's it called, pocket clip right here on the back, little loose, but not too much of a problem. And then finally, your seatbelt cutter right here and your glass breaker right there. Well, that's about it, guys. Really impressed with this thing. This is the TAC Force 498. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and we will see you in the Hey guys, this is Product Probe Christian here today, and we will be looking at the TAC Force 857 skeleton knife. I've heard some really good things about it, so let's get into it. Alright, first impressions, it's a little heavy. We'll get into the details in a little bit. It's got a real sturdy belt clip on there. Alright guys, this is how it fits in the pocket. Slides in there real nice. You have your on, you can't really notice it or anything. The only problem I have with this, when I take it out, I'd like to have the trigger right here so I'd open it. We gotta kind of flip it around and then open it up like that. But it fits pretty nicely in the pocket. Just like I said, it's just a little bit heavy just for everyday use, but looks fine. You see it's got the skeleton theme on there. Let's open the blade up. Real easy open assist. Not too bad at all. It's got a little curvature to the blade there. Like I said, the belt clip, it's really sturdy. Feels really nice in your hands. Real chic look to it. It's real nice and simple. Not too much going on. Let's get the dimensions on this thing. We are looking at about 5 inches closed. Total length of the knife, we are looking at about 8.5 inches. And the length of the blade is about 3 inches. Alright, let's get the weight on this thing. We're looking right around 3.7 ounces, a little close to 4 ounces. Now let's look closely at this thing. It's got some real nice details to it, as you can see. It's the engravings on this thing are really nice. You see, you got the ribs right there. The skull has some real nice detail. Even up on the blade, we got some little patterns up there. You can tell some time was put into designing this knife. All right, let's look on the blade of this thing. It's got a real nice blade. You can see curved a little bit. We've got some real nice details at the top of the blade. A nice little finger pocket right there. The blade itself, it's alright. It's not super sharp, but we'll get into that in a little bit. The points on here, that's pretty sharp, not gonna lie. Let's kind of test it out and see how it works on some paper. Oh, that wasn't too bad at all. I mean, I cut right through that thing. I was not expecting that. Overall, I would say it's a really cool looking knife. Definitely a nice little show knife, but I probably wouldn't carry around for everyday use. It's a little heavy. That's my only problem with it. So I wouldn't want to be lugging this thing around every single day in my pocket. It's just a little heavy, but it gets my approval. Alright guys, this is Product Probes Christian, and I hope you guys enjoyed this review. I hope to see you guys next time. Don't forget to like and subscribe. What's up guys, Product Probes Christian back at you with a neat one today from TAC Force. This is the TF428. Got your wooden handle, your Damascus etched bolsters and blade. This thing's pretty sweet. Let's go ahead and check it out. Alright, this is the first one actually we got in with the Damascus etched, and it's pretty sweet. At first, we thought it was actual Damascus, but after thinking about it, we're like, nah, that stuff's too expensive to come with these TAC 4 knives. But let me show you what I'm talking about. Alright, so right here,
as you can see, you got this really nice design on the stainless steel right here. You know, it's called Damascus. I'm not really sure. It's almost kind of like an abstract oil. You know, the effect that oil has on top of water. It's kind of what it reminds me of. But kind of get into the details. Got your Damascus edge stainless steel right here. I like how the thumb studs are placed so far up. You know, really no use for them though. It looks cool, but you know, with this knife and you close it, you're not going to be able to open it up with that. You're not even going to be able to, with the spring assisted knife, you're not really going to be able to even to use them. Got your spear point blade right here. Rather large blade too, lots of cutting over at the bottom, large belly, so that's a plus. Pretty sharp point too. So one thing I'm kind of curious about, you know, Tac Force usually does a pretty good job with their knives being sharp right out of the box. So let's go ahead, get some paper, and see what we're dealing with. Alright, so let's go ahead, get some paper, and see what we're dealing with. From the catch at the top of the paper right here, let's see. So, definitely not a super sharp knife. Let's try that one more time. Caught a little better about that time, but there definitely is going to be a loss of tearing and ripping. Let's go one more time with that. Yeah, so definitely not a super sharp blade right there. Kind of curious to see, being that it is a spear point, how much push there's going to be right here. Yeah, okay, the point makes up for it. Definitely a nice sharp point on there. Being that it is a spear point, that is a given and a must. But yeah, on the cut down, it really isn't a super sharp blade. There definitely is going to be lots of ripping, lots of tearing. So, I guess you could say it's so-so. Alright, sharpness is so-so. As you can see, there was a little bit of ripping going on, but I'm sure if you ran it through a blade once or twice, you would have no problem whatsoever. Next thing, speaking of this trigger, it's actually really fast. You know, with the stilettos especially, you know, being that such a thin blade, it's going to be super fast, which is a definite plus. Really, there's like no pressure needed to push that trigger down, so that is super nice. The liner lock on this thing is actually really nice too. Let me show you what I'm talking about. It's got one of those padded liner locks, at least what I like to call them. So it's got the extra kind of a thicker piece right there for your lock. So all you got to do is push that down. Super comfortable. Like that a lot as well. Makes it for a really nice one-handed open and close. No problems whatsoever. Let's go ahead and look into some of the details on this handle. So right here, as you can see, you've got your aluminum bolsters on either side, and they are Damascus etched as well. Got your real nice dark wood handle right here. I like them compared to more of the light handles. The darker gives it a really nice look to it, which is what I like a lot. And other thing is this belt clip. You know, it's pretty beefy. I can barely even lift that thing up with my finger. As you can see, it's got a large dip right there, so I'm not sure how it's going to pull up in the pocket with the frame in the pocket like that. I mean, it's a pretty simple knife, so yeah, let's go ahead. I'm kind of curious to see, being that the thing is super beefy, I'm kind of curious to see how this thing's going to slide in and out of the pocket, so let's go ahead and check it out. Right off the bat, I'm going to make a prediction that these thumb studs are actually going to get in the way of putting it in the pocket, so let's see what we're dealing with. So, not too bad right there, but on the takeout, let's see. Slides in. It's actually a little bit difficult to get in. Let's see if we can do a one-handed. You can do a one-handed, but there definitely is going to be quite a bit of tug. Let's see with that two-handed. It's going to be better two-handed, and you definitely can feel the catch on those thumb studs. Not a big deal. Let's see how it sits in there. So, the printing, show you over here, is not too bad. It is more of a slender kind of knife, so I do like that right there. And that concealability is really nice too, especially show you with that front camera. You're not going to be able to see anything. Especially wearing a long shirt, kind of t-shirt like this, not bad at all. Let's see right here. You know, I can kind of feel it kind of fraying up against my pocket. I don't know if you can see that, but you can see the big dip right there in the belt clip. And you can definitely tell I might, over time, kind of fray out that pocket, wear it out a little bit. But that's the only thing. And also, I really don't like how the belt clip, it does extend really far up on the knife itself, but it only goes up to about a certain point. You really have to push it down really hard to get to go all the way up to the top. So I guess it's more of a, I guess say multi-position belt clip, but you're definitely going to have to push down a little bit harder to get it all the way down. But actually, that's not too bad. And just a little difficult to get out of the pocket. But other than that, it's pretty nice. Alright guys, it was catching a little bit, taking it in and out of the pocket. So like I was saying before, it's because of that super beefy belt clip. Not a problem. One thing I want to go back over though is this grip. You know, there's not a bunch of grip on here. It's more of an everyday carry simple knife. Although it still does have a very nice feel to it, even without the thumb grooves or lots of grip on the handle. Still feels really nice. You get into your defensive. You're good right there, good to go as well. The only thing really is this the bolsters that are, I keep saying bolsters. It's on the bolsters, but these thumb studs. As you can see on the blade, not the blade, the bolsters as well. There's almost grip on the front of those thumb studs right there. So that's what I'm guessing is almost kind of like a choil from the bottom where you can choke up. It's almost you can put your thumb at the front of the knife right there, give you more control of the blade, which is a plus, I guess. I didn't really notice that until Product Pros Matt pointed that out. But that was a nice little thing right there, that's kind of a little add-on feature. When it was in the pocket, however, it was a little bit kind of heavy. You know, you can feel it was a little bulkier of a knife. I'll show you right here. As you can see, it's definitely more of a bulkier knife. You can tell with the wood's kind of hanging up there a little bit. So I'm kind of curious to see how this thing's really going to weigh out. Even though it is a super, I guess you could say, narrow knife, there definitely is some size to it. Let's go ahead and check that out. Let's go ahead and grab the weight on this thing. Let's see what we're dealing with. Okay, 4.44 ounces. Actually, you know, for a rather larger knife, 4.44 is actually really nice. I'm guessing this thing's probably going to be around 8 inches. So, kind of curious. Let's see what we're dealing with. So, I'll start out kind of closed right here. But just shy of 5 inches. Actually, yeah, just shy of 5. Fully opened. We're going to be dealing with, yeah, 9 inches, guys. So, 4.4 is not bad at all for this size of a knife. And the length of the blades, away from the actual where the blade starts right here, is going to be 3.5 inches. So for a large knife like this, 4.4 ounces is actually really good. I'm really liking this knife so far. All right, I stand corrected. This thing was actually lighter than I thought it was going to be for the size of the knife. Almost an 8.5 inch knife, and it was relatively light, so that's a definite plus right there. But other than that, that's really it for the knife. You know, I like this thing, being that it's almost kind of like a simple everyday carry. That's more my style kind of knife. You know, I don't really like all the tactical with all the stuff on there. Just not necessary for my situation. So I definitely do like this knife. And the big plus on it, go ahead and show you guys, is the whole style on the thing. You know, you got your Damascus etched blade with your Damascus etched bolsters right there. Really nice dark wood handle right here. And it just pulls it together really, really nicely. And all you got really on this knife extra is this pocket clip right there. Just super simple. I like it a lot. Like I was saying, guys, this is the TF, I believe 428. Yep, 428. Go ahead and check it out. I'll leave that link down in the description below if you want to go ahead and check it out. But other than that, be sure to check out our Friday night knife giveaways. Every single Friday night we're giving away knives just like this. Big, small, karambits, fixed blades. You name it, we got it. We're giving it away. 5, 6 o'clock is usually when we live stream. That is Central Time, just to be clarify. But I hope you guys enjoyed the review. Be sure to like and subscribe, and we will see you on the next one. What's going on, everybody? Product Probes Christian back at you with a fun one today from Tac Force. This is the TF640 EMT knife. You know, something a little different. You know, they usually have a bunch of the different series. They have the police, the sheriff, the firefighter. This one's actually a different style than some of the ones we've done before, so we went ahead and got it. We have like 3 other EMTs. Let's go ahead, get into the review, and see what we're dealing with. Okay, guys, so right off the bat, I'm going to go ahead and show you guys this blade. You know, pretty simple. Got your standard Tonto blade, and what I mean by that is, you know, you're going to have your straight blade at the bottom right here, and then you're going to have that uptick right there. So you're going to have pretty much an angle separating these 2 blades, and it's almost 2 blades right here. You're going to have just a regular, almost kind of like a drop point right there. But yes, you do have your Tonto. Nice black oxidation on the bottom of the blade, on the bevel, and then at the top, you're going to have your regular stainless steel. Got your dual thumb studs right there, so that's a definite plus. And it looks like to be the Tac Force logo right there, and on the back of the blade, you've got, you know, your information, where it's made, all that kind of stuff, fun stuff. But I'm kind of curious, you know, usually these knives do a pretty good job, especially from Tac Force right out of the box. They're pretty sharp, so I'm actually getting quite a few hairs with this one. One thing I want to go do, check out and see how really sharp this thing is. Let's go ahead, test it out on some paper. All right, let's go ahead, open this thing up and see what we're dealing with on the cut down. So let's see how well this thing catches. So, wow, no problem whatsoever. Very little ripping. Let's try that a couple more times. You're going to have no problem whatsoever catching on that knife. Let's go ahead and test out the point and see if there's any push right there on that point. So, very little push. That's actually really nice. On the cut down, even the front of that Tonto blade is still very, very sharp. Very minimal ripping, actually. Did a really good job, guys. Alright, so right out of the box, this thing is actually pretty sharp. You know, really minimal tearing right there. Not bad at all. One thing I want to talk about is this trigger. You know, super, super fast trigger. You know, this thing's even faster than some of the Speedster models that they have. I mean, very, very light touch to the trigger right there. Opens up super nicely. Got a line of lock. I'll show you that right here. So, as you can see, that little piece of metal at the bottom right there. All you got to do, press that down, and it allows your blade to lock back into place. Really nice, one hand, open and close, no problem whatsoever. Let's go ahead and go into some of the details on this handle, give you guys a quick little close-up on that as well. Got your aluminum handle, and it seems to be, I really like how they put the colors together. You know, have the orange on the back right here and the black on the front. You have your EMT little emblem right there. And then one thing I do like about this as well is this glass breaker. You know, they incorporated the lanyard hole into that glass breaker, which was pretty cool. Never seen that before. And then you got your seatbelt cutter on the top right there. Back portion of the knife, you've got your stainless steel pocket clip right there. You know, as well for as the aesthetic side of it, you know, they have lots of grooves and indents. The texture is really nice. As you can see, it has a really nice thumb ramp right there. You guys can see that right there in the camera. On the bottom, lots and lots of thumb groove, or originally just one finger groove right there, but it gives you a really nice feel to it. You know, it's almost a little small in my hands, and I don't have super big hands. So for you bigger guys, this is going to be a little small in your hands. On the defensive standpoint, that's pretty good too. Definitely going to have this get in the way of your thumb. It's almost kind of, it's not super sharp, but it's kind of, I guess you could say, kind of big. So that's so-so on the defensive standpoint, but definitely has a really nice grip right here with the, without the extension right here. Would have been a little bit nicer, but kind of curious to see how this thing's going to feel in the pocket because the belt clip, dang, that thing's actually pretty beefy. Give you guys one more close-up on this thing. Pretty beefy little belt clip right here. Oh god, it's almost hard to ring with my finger right there. Let's go ahead, slide it on into the pocket, and see what we're dealing with. Alright guys, let's go ahead and slide it down in the pocket, see what we're dealing with. Slides in relatively easily, slides all the way down to the top of that knife. I really like that. As you can see right there, there's no knife sticking out the top. The belt clip is positioned really, really nice, or pocket clip rather. Let's see on the slide out. One-handed, super easy. The trigger is right there, so I'm really liking this belt clip so far. Let's try this one more time and check out the printing. Printing, you know, you can kind of see it. It's about average, not too bad. Let's see on the concealability, especially with a t-shirt on and some jeans, you're not going to be able to see that knife. Even the belt clip sticking down, so they did a really good job with that. One-hand deployment, really liking this belt clip, guys. So far, so good. I mean, this thing fit into the pocket really nicely. I mean, all the aspects so far are really adding up really nicely. You know, got a real nice sharp blade on there. The aesthetics on it are really nice. Super nice trigger on there, open and close. So far, so good. One thing though, in the pocket, you definitely could feel this thing had some weight to it just because it's an aluminum / stainless steel compared to, you know, like your plastics and your rubbers. So kind of curious to see how this thing's going to weigh up. So one thing we're going to do, let's go ahead and grab the scale and see what we're dealing with on the weights as well as the measurements on the thing. Alright, let's go ahead and grab the weight and measurements on this thing. You know, it's actually a little bit heavier, you know, just because it's going to be all that stainless steel and aluminum right there, but let's see, 4.57, so a little bit, I guess you could say average for this size of knife. You know, it's not a super big knife, but it is a little bulkier than usual. Let's go ahead and grab the measurements on this thing. Guessing close to 8 inches. Let's see, total length with that glass breaker, we're going to be looking at just shy of 8 inches. So yeah, that's actually not too bad at all. The length of the blade, you're going to have about 3 inches total, but you're going to have about 2 inches on that belly right there, because, you know, you got that Tonto blade, so you got about 1 inch right there on that Tonto blade. So really 2 inches of cutting room right there. Let's see, closed up, you're going to be dealing with just shy of 5 inches, so about 4 3/4. So it is a little bit on the smaller side of knives, but I do like it a lot. Relatively light knife for the size of it, so that's definite plus. I mean, really guys, this is actually a really nice knife. All aspects of it, you know, it's sharp, it looks really nice, that it slides really nice in and out of the pocket, and it's like got a real nice weight to it. I guess you could say it's about average. That's the only really con is the weight, but it's not even a con, it's just kind of just average on the thing. Really recommend this knife, guys, especially for you guys tactical guys. It's got, this thing's loaded, you know. You've got your seatbelt cutter, you've got your glass breaker, you've got your lanyard hole in the glass breaker. The only thing really on the tactical side that it doesn't have is that that serration. But you know, that's not a big deal. Would be a nice little everyday carry too. I mean, guys, cannot go wrong with this knife. This is the TF640 EMT knife from TacForce. Highly recommend it. I'll leave that link down in the description if you want to go ahead and pick one up. But that's about it for the review, guys. If you're interested, every Friday night we give away knives just like this. Other knives as well, big, small, you name it. Any type of knives, really. Fixed blades, karambits. I mean, we got a bunch of stuff. Every Friday night from 5 to 6 o'clock Central Time. Go ahead and check us out. We'd like to do a little live stream. And we'll do a little hangout after that. You know, it's just kind of a fun little thing to do with the channel. Hope you guys enjoyed the review. Drop a like, subscribe, and we'll see you on the next one. What's going on, everybody? Product Probes, Christian back at you. Got a neat one today from TacForce. This is the TF835 SH Sheriff knife. Give you guys a quick little close-up real quick. Pretty sweet little knife. Let's go ahead and dive on into the review. Alright, so right off the bat, I'm going to give you guys a quick little close-up on this thing.
Alright, so first things first, we're going to go over this blade, and then we'll go back into it later on, go over some of the details on the handle and whatnot. But it's actually got a really nice blade on here to drop point. What I mean by that is, if you bring your finger at the very top of the knife and run it down the spine of the knife, this is your spine and this is your belly. Run it down the spine, you can have a real slow, gradual drop all the way down to the tip. It's not going to be a very steep drop compared to like a clip point. But usually though, the only downside of that is, on the drop points is, you're not going to have as sharp as a point. So I can already tell that with this one, I can actually press pretty good with my finger and not get it to where it cuts or whatnot. The belly of the knife, I wouldn't say it's super big, super small. It's about average right here. So you're going to have a little bit of cutting room, and it is a half serrated, half straight blade. So, you know, it's more for a tactical situation, you know, out for a survival type situation. Got your 440C stainless steel blade. It's half oxidized, it's just regular stainless steel, and then you got your black oxidation right up here on the top and on the bottom. And then you've got your dual thumb studs right up here, which help if for some reason the knife won't open up all the way. It kind of just goes, opens it up, kind of comes half open like that. Use your thumb studs, open it up just like that. But the trigger does not seem to have a problem opening up, but we'll get into that in just a little bit. And finally, I want to mention this grip right here on the top of the blade. Real good thumb grip right there. If you want to hold it right there, can definitely get a real nice ramp right there. So, first things first, let's go ahead. Let's see if I can't get any hairs with this thing. Yeah, guys, I'm getting a bunch of hairs with this thing. I'm going to flip it over to the quick close-up real quick and see if you guys can see that. But there are a couple of hairs on the front right here, so this thing is going to be pretty sharp. Let's go ahead and get a one-handed cut, and then we'll go into it, test the point out, test the catch, and see what we're dealing with.
Now, Rabbit, a good cop does what before using his equipment in the field?
They test it?
They test it, exactly.
Alright, so we got some paper right here. Let's go ahead and see what we're dealing with on the cut down. So, let's try this. Having a little difficulty catching. But once you do get it to catch, it actually does a pretty decent job. There are a couple rips. Let's try that one more time. You gotta be real careful because of that serration on the back, but get it to catch right on the very edge right there. Does a pretty decent job, so-so. Not a couple rips here and there, but one thing I'm kind of curious about is this point. So let's see, I'm not expecting too much, but yeah, there definitely is quite a bit of catch on here. Very, very, like, I guess you'd say, point is just not sharp at all. I'm putting a lot of force on my finger right there. So, you know what? This is pretty decent. Point's not super sharp, but once you do get it to catch, it actually does a pretty decent job. So let's go back and get into the review. Alright, this is definitely going to be more of a tactical knife, being that you're not going to have a lot of cutting room. As you can just see, that serration's going to get in the way, and you're going to have probably looks around 2 inches of actual cutting room. So definitely not your best EDC. One thing that I want to mention real quick is this trigger. It definitely is a little bit of give whenever you go to push it down, but once you do get it opened up, it's actually a really fast blade. You can tell they have really good springs in there, but there is a little give on that trigger, so you got to just press it down just a bit harder, but that's not too big of a deal. It's not that bad. And then one thing about it, it's got a really good one open hand and close. So open it up, close up, no problem whatsoever. And then going on down into the handle, it's got a plastic handle. It seems hard plastic. You know, not something super cheap like you'd think on some of the other types of knives that we've done before, but it's a good, reliable plastic. And being that it's plastic, I'm guessing that it's actually going to be pretty lightweight. So one thing I want to go check out is the measurements, as well as how this thing's going to weigh up on the scale. All right, let's go ahead and plop this thing down onto the scale, see what we're dealing with. So, 4.62. Yeah, it's actually not 4.59. Right on the borderline of 4.6. It's actually pretty good. It seems to be almost an 8-inch knife. Let's go ahead and grab our ruler and see if my predictions are correct. And you are looking at 8 inches, including that glass breaker on the dot. So to be 4.9 is actually really good. The length of the blade, all the way to that choil right there. Let's do it like this. You're looking at about 3 1/4 and closed up all the way, including that glass breaker. Let's do it this way. You're going to be looking right at 5 inches on the dot. So not bad. Nice little size pocket knife. Really good weight to it. Let's go back into the review. Alright, for an 8-inch pocket knife, anything under 5 ounces is actually pretty good. So with this one being 4.6, a little below average, which isn't a bad thing. Like I was saying, it's going to be a little below because of that plastic handle. So one thing, let's go ahead and go over some of the details on the handle, the grip and whatnot. It is a plastic handle, and you can see all these grooves in here. It has a real good grip to it. And you know what? One thing I like about it is that flashlight does not get in the way whenever you're holding it like this. But in a more defensive standpoint, that flashlight is going to get in the way. But it's alright. You got the glass break at the top right here. Kind of gets down on your thumb, kind of a little uncomfortable. So it's definitely going to be better to hold it like this. You're going to have a lot better action on it. Really, really good grip, really good. As you can see, all these just little things on the top. It's even got it down on the bottom right here, your little finger grooves right there. Gives it real nice and firm right there. And on the back right here, we've got our pocket clip. And I can already tell this thing's going to be really good in the pocket because of that placement of the pocket clip. It's really far up on there. There's going to be very little room sticking out of the knife itself, so you're going to have real good concealment. The pocket clip itself seems with these knives that are farther up on the belt, they have less bolts holding them in. So I don't know if you guys can see those two bolts right here and right here. So usually the ones that are farther down have more bolts and they're more beefy. But this one, it is a little easier to give. It has a little more play. So I'm kind of curious to see how that's going to hold up in the pocket. Let's go ahead and check that out. Alright, so let's go ahead and slide this down on into the pocket. So it slides in really easy, almost too easily. So there definitely is some catch right there. Slide this back on over here. You know, the printing, there is quite a bit of printing just because it's a little bit thicker than a knife, and especially that flashlight, you can feel it up against your leg. But concealability, got a jacket on like this, you're actually not going to be able to see it at all. It slides all the way down into the pocket, so it actually does pretty good. These are pretty tight jeans, but there still is a little bit of room in here to put stuff in if you needed to. So that's, my bad guys, flashlight turned on, don't have it all the way turned off. But it does slide out relatively easy as well. You know, it's just actually super easy to slide in and out, so we'll go over that in just a second. But when you do pull it out, the trigger is right there and you are good to go. Alright, so there are a couple flaws with that pocket design. You know, it is super loose, there is a lot of play, so kind of slides around in there just a bit, especially I bet if you were doing a lot of physical activity. And then that flashlight, you know, you can really feel that flashlight rubbing up against your leg, especially when you're kind of moving around and you're wearing a tight pants such as jeans. Speaking of that flashlight, you know, it's actually a pretty cool little element on the knife, especially for tactical situations. You know, it just comes up to a 90-degree angle like this, slides up and down, super simple. Give you guys a quick little close-up real quick. Do that one more time. So all I got to do, it's on a little hinge right there. Goes all the way up to 90 degrees. You know what, honestly, I wouldn't really need it to be like that because, you know, just do it like this. But one thing people don't realize about knives with flashlights is that there's an actual piece of paper in the battery of the knife. So let me show you what I'm talking about. So we're just going to unscrew this right up here. Take this piece out, and then we're going to take this battery out right there. And as you can see, on the top of the battery right there, there's going to be a little circular piece of paper. Just going to go ahead, plop that out, and you should be good to go right there. Little piece of paper. So all you got to do is throw that piece of paper in the trash, and you should be good to go. So let's go ahead, slide this back on into the flashlight. Screw this back on, and you are good to go. So let's go ahead and turn these lights off, and we'll be right back with you. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and kill the last light. And then I got our ruler right here. So what we're going to do is, you can't see the ruler right now, pitch dark in here, so we're going to go ahead and switch this light on. So if for some reason you were cutting, you had your blade right here and it was super dark outside, didn't have a flashlight, just turn that sucker on. Cutting away, you can see really good. I can read that Westcott since 1872. You can see all the little tiny marks right here, so the flashlight actually does a really good job. But if for some reason you want to turn it up at that 90-degree angle, and you just needed to use it as a flashlight, one second, let me pull that blade back in. But for some reason you didn't want to use that blade, just pull your flashlight out. Really, really good motion right here. Super bright LED flashlight. It's almost like got a white light on there. Does a really good job. So let's go ahead, turn these lights back on, and get back into the review. Alright guys, that's about it. Let's go over my pros and cons on this thing. You know, I wish this thing could be a little bit sharper and have a little more cutting room with that straight blade. You know, the serration is nice, but it just isn't always necessary. But you know what? For you guys who need those half serration, half knives in those tactical situations, this is the knife for you. One thing I do like about it is this trigger. You know, there is a little more give than usual, but once you do get that open, it is a super, super fast knife, which I really do like about it. And I like all the different features it has on it. You know, you got your flashlight, your seatbelt cutter right here, you got your glass breaker. There's just so much on this knife that it has to offer. And to only be around 10 bucks, this is one of Amazon's, I think, best sellers. You know, it does a really good job, so we went ahead and ordered it. We did a bunch of the other ones in this series. I think we did the firefighter, the police knife, so you want to go check those out. Well, those are back on their channel ways back, but this thing actually definitely passes product probes inspection. Did a really good job. Everything on it seems to be really good, except for that sharpness. You know, it could be a little bit better, but it's not a deal breaker. So guys, I hope you guys enjoyed the review. Be sure to check out our Friday Knife Night giveaways. Every single Friday night we are giving away a knife just like this. Super simple, super easy. Usually we do a live stream around 5, 6 o'clock. So go ahead and check that out. And also, we just got our social media set up. Got an Instagram, a Facebook, a Twitter, and we are following back the first 100 followers on our Instagram and Twitter. So go ahead and check us out at Product Probes. Really appreciate it, guys. But other than that, I hope you enjoyed the review, and don't forget to like and subscribe. What's going on, everybody? Product Probes Christian back at you. Got a neat one today from TacForce. This is part of their collection series. It's actually the TF707 Pink Dragon Rainbow Knife. Let's go ahead and dive on in. Alright, so first things first, let's go ahead and check out this blade. Give you guys a quick little close-up on here. Got your spear tip blade on here, and what I mean by that is if you run your fingers from the top and the bottom, your spine and your belly of the blade, it meets uniformly at one point at the tip of the knife. So, you know, a little different from the drop points, the clip points that we're used to. We don't usually have the spear points, so something a little different right there. Got your black 440C stainless steel right there, oxidizing that black. Got your half serration, half straight blade. And, you know, being that it's a small blade to begin with, you're not going to have a lot of cutting area right there, so that's a little bit of a downside. I guess I should say slicing rather than cutting because you can't cut with that serration. You got your TacForce right up here, collection series right on the bottom, and I think this is actually the first collection series we've ever done. So something a little different. I actually like this knife so far, but continue on in the details of that blade. I really don't like how they made this red right here. You know, you kind of have this pink metallic looking dragon up here, but it's got a red flame right there. I mean, I get the flame, red flames and fire and whatnot, but I really wish they would have matched that up with the color of the dragon. On the back side, yep, no flame on the back side, and you just got your details up here at the top. Last but not least, we've actually got this finger hole in here. And what that finger hole is going to be used for, you know, we don't usually see these on knives we review here, but stick your pointer finger in that finger hole right there, you get a little better control of the knife. So it's almost like you're holding it like this, you can cutting. Yeah, you have good control, but especially once you put that finger in that finger hole, you're going to have a lot better control of the knife than if you're doing real precision work. So that's a nice little plus. I actually wish they would do that on some of the other knives. You know, this is the first one with the actual finger hole right there that's made for the precision. But one thing I want to go check out and see is how this blade really holds up, and check out the sharpness on this thing. Okay, let's go ahead and get some paper and see what we're dealing with on the cut down right here. So yeah, that was really bad. You know, lots and lots of tearing right there. So that was not good at all. Let's see if that was just a fluke and try it one more time. Not super optimistic. Oh, that was kind of weird. It almost ripped by itself. Yeah, that's not good. You know, lots and lots of ripping. One thing I'm kind of curious about is that point. With it being a spear point, it should have a decent point on there. Let's see how bad the catch is on that. Alright, so yeah, the catch is pretty bad on here too. You know, I guess you could say a little below average. Not too bad. Cut down, yeah. You're just going to have lots of rips right there. Really need to get some improvement up on that blade. As you can see, the blade's not the best on there. Could use a little bit of sharpening up. You know, lots of tears, lots of rips. So, a little below average actually from TacForce. You know, usually TacForce does a pretty good job of, you know, getting good blades right out of the package, but this one does need a little bit of improvement. So, the first downside of the knife is right there. But one thing I really do like about this knife is this trigger. So, it's almost kind of uniform on both sides, almost kind of like a wing, I guess you could say. But it's uniform on both sides, but you can tell because the blade is sticking out a little bit on the underside of the knife. So, you know that the top's right here. Really fast. The trigger is really large, so it's easy to push that down. Really simple. Not necessarily the fastest. Well, actually, yeah, it's actually pretty fast. I like it a lot. Just super smooth, super simple. Got your liner lock at the bottom, and I'll show you that in just a second. But one-handed open and close, no problem whatsoever. All right, so this liner lock. Right here is a little difficult to see. You can see these two lines right up here. You got two pieces of stainless steel on the bottom sides of the handles. And you're going to have one piece that's going to kind of come off to the side, or come into the knife actually, and block off the actual blade itself while it's locked into position. But all you got to do, push that handle or the piece of metal back down, and that blade's going to be able to come right back into the knife right there. I'll show you that one more time. So you got that piece of metal right there in the bottom. You can kind of see it. It's kind of got these little grooves right there to use for your fingers. Get a little grip right there. You're going to push that down, and you're going to see that piece snap back down into place onto the knife. Go ahead and close it back up. That is your definition of a liner lock. And, you know, there's frame locks, there's lock backs, you know, look those up. We'll be happy to show you what they mean. We have done a bunch of knives before, you know, got the frame locks, you know, just a lot of different stuff. Personally, liner locks is probably my favorite, and it is the most versatile. You know, most knives use a liner lock, so won't get into too much detail, but just want to let you guys know. Got a real nice aluminum handle on here, black aluminum right there. And you got this really nice pink dragon. It pops out, gives it that 3D effect, almost a holographic look with this shiny, I think it's plastic. Yeah, that pink is probably plastic, so I'm not sure how that's going to hold up after time and wearing off and whatnot. But it is on both sides, so that is a definite plus. But being that it's aluminum and got your stainless steel, it's going to be a little bit heavier rather than using a plastic or wood handle. So one thing I want to check out is see how much this thing weighs, and then we'll go ahead, grab the ruler, and see what this thing measures out to be. Let's go ahead, throw this thing on the scale and see what we're dealing with. 4.83 ounces, so about average, maybe a little bit under average for a knife this size. Guessing it's going to be close to 8 inches, so let's go ahead and see what we're dealing with. Grab this right here. Okay, so including the glass breaker, we're going to be dealing with, man, 8.5 inches. So actually, that's pretty good for an 8.5 inch knife. It's a little bit below average on the weight right there. The length of the knife, starting from the actual blade, the serration right there, you're going to be dealing with 3 inches, and closed all the way up, you're going to be dealing with, including the glass breaker, 5 inches, including these little pieces that come up right there. So nice little pocket knife size right here, pretty average, maybe a little below average on that weight, but let's go ahead and get back into the review. So the weight's about average, you know, not too heavy, not too light, 4.8 ounces, and to be a 8.5 inch knife with that not the thumb stud, my bad guys. This is a glass breaker, and that's the only, you got the glass breaker right here, didn't mention that earlier, but that's, you know, get in a situation where you need to break that glass, hold it on like this, right on that glass, it'll shatter, no problem. Really good for survival situations, but you don't typically need it, but it is nice to have. And last but not least, guys, we've got this belt clip right here. And I can already tell it's going to be really nice in the pocket because that belt clip is really, really far up on the blade, or on the knife. I actually showed everybody that. So as you can see, that belt clip comes all the way to the very top of the knife, rather than being a little farther down. Sometimes the other knives, their belt clips are really far down in the knife. You know, you got a good or not an inch, you got a good half inch sticking out of the pocket. You know, I really don't like that personally, but some people might not. Not a big deal. Let's go ahead and see what this thing checks out in the pocket. Let's go ahead and slide this down into the pocket, see what we're dealing with. So, slides in, fairly easy. It is catching on that trigger right there. I don't know if you can see that right here, but it is catching on that trigger just a bit, so you might have to go on up over that. But it does actually slide on in all the way, really nice. It almost has a nice little groove right here just for your thumb to push that in, which is super nice. Slides in good, have a nice shirt on right here. Can't see it at all, good concealability to it. The printing is a little bit of printing, but it's not bad really at all. Yeah, that's nice, guys. So this would be a nice little EDC knife. Pulls out, let's see what we're dealing with. Yeah, so definitely, you know, you can do it one-handed, but it is going to be a little more difficult. So two-hand is definitely going to be needed here. Let's see if it catches again. Yeah, it's going to catch on that trigger every time, it seems like this. Pull this out. So that's nice. It is a little bit tight, you know, but it's not a super big of a deal, but I wish it was a little bit less tight. Let's see if it catches on the other trigger. Yeah, man, it just keeps catching on that trigger every time you slide it in there. But the nice thing is, you pull it out, and that trigger is right there, and you are good to go. Okay, the pocket design, it says so. It's almost as like it's a little bit too tight. It was a little difficult to get in and out of the pocket, and it seemed to catch sometimes on these triggers, especially this one right here, because it is elevated a bit more because it's on the blade side. But, you know, not a big deal. I would say, like I said, made it a little bit less loose. I'm sure you could loosen up the screws just a bit to get that to fit in and out a little bit better. It's definitely a two-hander. You can't slide in and out with just one hand. But you know what, not too bad. Overall, it's actually a pretty neat knife, you know, besides the fact that it's not a super sharp knife, but it is a really cool looking knife. I really like the speed on this trigger too. Super easy, super fast. That's a plus. And the design on it, you know. Wish they could have made this pink right here, but not a big deal. You know, we're going to have a really cool, almost 3D dragon right there on both sides of the knife. But guys, that's about it for the review. If you want to go ahead and check this thing out, it's the Tac Force 707 Collection Series. And it's a pink dragon knife, and it's actually a pretty cool knife. I'll leave that link down in the description below if you want to go ahead and check that out on Amazon. And actually, yeah, every Friday night we are we are giving away knives just like this every single Friday night. All you got to do is go to the channel, subscribe to it, watch our Friday night knife giveaways, and it's just super, super simple to win a knife for free
But go ahead and check that out. We try and live stream 5, 6 o'clock every Friday night around that time. Sometimes it takes a little bit longer than others to get set up, but go ahead and check that out. If you enjoyed this video, drop a like and subscribe, and we will see you on the next one. What's going on, everybody? Product Probes Christian back at you. Got a neat one today from M-Tech. This is the M-Tech Ballistic MTA 820, I believe. Yep, got that right. This is the Skull Crusher knife, I guess you could say that. Give you guys a quick little sneak peek. Got your skull right up here, as well as on the blade right there. Really cool design. Really nice tactical knife, and you got your Tonto blade right up there too. But without further ado, let's go ahead and get into the review. Alright, so first things first, one thing I want to point out is this trigger. You know, they could have done a little bit better job on this thing. I'll show you without a flick. It's almost like a spring assisted, but it's not. It'll get all the way up to the very tip, and then it'll you gotta rattle it, and you gotta give it that flick to get it to lock in place, but it does seem to lock in place fairly well. You're not gonna have any problem there, but you do seem to need to give it that flick right there. But you know what? If that's the only bad thing on the knife so far, not disappointed with it just yet. But let's go ahead and get into some of the details, give you guys a quick little close-up right here. See, kind of hard, you got to give it that flick to get it to lock in place like I was saying. Alright, so you get your black oxidized stainless steel blade with your Tonto blade. And what I mean by a Tonto blade is you're going to have your belly down here, and it's going to angle off, and you're going to have pretty much another blade. So it's going to be a blade down here, and it's going to angle off, and you're going to have a blade up here. And it's almost kind of like a drop point. You're just going to have a real gradual drop right here, follow it from the very top of the blade. Because this is called your spine up here, your spine and your belly. You're going to follow all the way down. It's kind of got a drop point look to it, but with it having this extra curve right here, or I guess that's not really a curve, but it's another blade on there. It's a Tonto blade, and Tonto blades have a really, really sharp point, just because of that angle it gives off right here, with it kind of having that real sharp, I guess you could say, upward rise right there. Got a real cool skull pattern right in here, cut into the blade. For aesthetics, it might cut down the weight a little bit too. And it is actually since that it's a tactical knife, you're going to have your serration right here. It's half serration, half straight. You're not going to have a lot of room to actually do a lot of cutting. I'm sure if you want to do some precision work, almost kind of like cutting, you can use it like that. But when you actually want to, use it for cutting, it's not going to be the best, because you're not going to have a lot of room down here on the belly of the knife. And on the top, you've got your saw back. And it doesn't seem to be there's not really any which way the teeth are going. So, if you want to use it to cut some wood, all you got to do, kind of use it like a saw, just like that. Kind of wish, usually on some of them, the sawbacks, I don't know if you guys can see that up close, the teeth will kind of curve one way, which way or the other. That way you kind of get a good grip on it. But with this one, they kind of just made them straight up and down. Nothing too special. All right, moving our way down, like I was saying, that trigger, I really wish that the spring in it was just a bit better. I mean, sometimes it does open up, but it's very slow. And the reason for that being is it's a rather large knife, actually. We'll get into that in just a little bit. But with it having such a large blade up here, having a larger blade, it's going to be a little more difficult for the blade to actually come out all the way compared to a smaller blade. It'll be a lot easier for it to flick out open right there. But the springs might just not be very well made on here. I'm not sure if it's just this knife or if it's multiple other knives, the whole entire series. But so far, so good, guys. It's actually I can tell it's a quality knife. You got your aluminum handle right here. It's got really good grip. Show you guys that up close. I don't know if you guys can see that, but it's got really good grip right here, almost kind of like bars they place on right here. And your bolsters on each side of the knife. Seems to be only one skull on this side of the knife, which is opposite to the pocket clip right there. Pretty cool little skull. It's a stonewash. Almost kind of looks stonewash. No. Yeah, it's just black right there. So I'll give you guys a close-up on that. I don't know if you guys can see that. I forgot to mention your M-Tech logo, M-Tech Ballistic right there. You got your thumb ramp right here. And it's actually got a really nice feel to it. It's actually got a little bit of grip right there too. Some notches cut in right there. Show you guys that right there. You can see the notches right up here. Give you a real nice grip on your thumb, which is super nice. And the grip on here, like I was saying, it's actually got a really good grip.
Although being all aluminum, sometimes it gets a little sweaty, but I kind of like how it's spaced out. So you got a lot of surface area right here, rather compared to just being straight. So it's not going to be as bad compared to something that's just, not a lot of texture right there, which is nice. And you got a lanyard hole back here too. So if you wanted to, you get you a piece of paracord, you could use shoestring, really whatever you wanted to use, leather. Tie that back there, you have yourself a little lanyard right there. So that's a plus right there. Forgot to mention that liner lock down there. So all you gotta do is press this on in. It actually closes fairly easy. Let's see if I can get a good one hand open close. So open it up like that, slide this over. Fairly simple to open and close, not too much of a problem there. I really wish this thing had better springs in it. That is my only complaint so far. And last but not least, we have got our belt clip. Let's see how beefy this thing is. Yeah, actually pretty beefy. I can barely lift that thing up right there. I can already tell it's going to stay in the pocket real nice. Got your little dip right there in the pocket clip. Also, as you can see, it's placed really high up on the knife, which is a definite bonus. You're going to have very good concealability on there. Very little knife is going to be sticking out while you're doing that. But one thing I am curious to figure out is to see how sharp this thing is. At least a little portion of the knife, which you can actually use for slicing rather than for the cutting. So, pull this out right here, see if I can't get any hairs. At first, I was really thinking it felt really sharp, but on second notice, I'm not getting very many hairs while I'm doing this. I know some of the other knives we've done in the past review, I don't know if you can see, but I got a portion of my arm hair shaved off in the past couple of days. We've been working real hard trying to get a bunch of videos out. But this one, you know what, I'm not predicting it's going to be super sharp, but I'm kind of curious to see what it's going to be able to do. So let's go ahead and check that out. Alright, we got a blade here. I'm not sure it's going to be with this Tonto blade. We don't get many of these Tonto blades, so it's going to be a little bit more difficult to get that cut down because you got the blade right here, but we're going to go ahead and see what we're dealing with. So, try not to catch that serration. So there is a little bit of ripping, which is not too bad. With this knife right here, some of the M-Tex, you're going to have to sharpen it up just a hair, but I want to test the point out. I'm kind of curious. It has a real good sharp point on there. So go ahead. Yeah, very little catch right there. But on the cut down, let's redo that. Let's get another piece of paper right here real quick. On the cut down, right on in. That's actually pretty good. Alright guys. As you can just see, it wasn't something extra special, but it did do a decent job actually cutting in there. It is a little more difficult with these Tonto blades to get a good clean cut just because of the angle right there. You're not going to be using it for a lot of if you want to use it for a lot of slicing. Wouldn't recommend the Tonto blades. Stick with a drop point or a clip point. You have a real nice large belly. And with these tactical knives, you've got that serration right there. So, not the best EDC, but in a tactical survival situation, this is going to be the knife for you. One thing I'm actually really curious to check out is this pocket clip, because so far I'm really liking this thing. It's real sturdy even though it's got two bolts right up there. Sometimes some of these knives, they've got all these bolts up there trying to get a really good placement, a really good grip on that knife, trying to keep that pocket clip in there. But sometimes you really don't need that, and it kind of makes it to where they have the placement lower on the knife to get that extra stability with that pocket clip. But you know what? This one seems to be just fine, not moving around at all. Super high placement. I'm excited. Let's go check out this pocket. Let's go ahead, slide big one down in there, see what we're dealing with. So, yeah, okay, it slides in relatively easily, but one thing I'll mention in just a second is those, that razorback right there is going to be a little bit of a problem. It's going to catch just a bit right there, but it does slide in and there's no knife sticking out. Concealability is really good. Especially if you've got a jacket on like this, barely see any of that right there. Printing, however, going to have a bit of printing just because it is a bit of a larger knife. So it is going to be a little bit of printing, but yeah, you definitely can feel it in the pocket too. Just because of the size of the knife, it's going to have a little bit of a larger weight on there. Let's see how it slides out. Slides out pretty good, but you can feel the catch right there. But it slides out, the trigger's right there, and you're good to go. Really the only problem you're going to have taking this knife in and out of your pocket is a sawback right here. It kind of catches whenever you got it going in and out of your pocket, especially if you're wearing tight pants like jeans. I'm sure with khakis it might be a little bit better, but with tighter pants with jeans and whatnot, you're going to have a little catch on that sawback. Not a real deal breaker for me, but I wish, with a knife like this, if they're not even going to have it to where the teeth on here, kind of got a little bit of a curvature one way or the other. I really wish they just really didn't have it. Sometimes it might be necessary, but especially with this serration down here, you really don't need this up here. It might just be for looks. Not really sure, but I really wish they would have done one or the other and kind of done a good job on one or the other rather than having both kind of halfway done. But not a big deal for me. It actually, being that it's a large knife, it wasn't super heavy in the pocket. I was expecting this thing to feel like really heavy in the pocket, which, you know, you would think at first because of the size of the knife. It's actually a beast of a knife for a pocket knife. It's probably almost maybe 9 inches, and I'm guessing it's not super heavy. You know, some of the 9-inch knife, you're thinking maybe around 6 ounces, 7 ounces, but for this one, I'm thinking it's going to be a little below that. So one thing I want to go check out is see how this thing shows up on the scale, the weight, and then after that, go ahead and check out the measurements. Okay, we got our knife here. Let's go ahead and throw this thing on the scale. It's actually pretty heavy. I'm guessing maybe 6, 7 ounces. 6.56 ounces. It's going back between, all right, 6.859. Let's just call it 6.6 ounces. So that's actually pretty good. I was actually predicting this thing to be a little bit heavier, to be the size that it is. I'm curious to see. I'm guessing a little over 8, maybe closer to 9. All right, go ahead, twist this around this way. Open this on up. Having a little trouble with the trigger. There we go. Oop. All right, so fully opened. We are looking at 9 3/4 from the tip of the knife, 9 1/2. So relatively large knife here. The blade is starting from back here, not counting the choil right there. You're looking at around 4 inches on that blade with about 1.5 inches of serration. Let's see what this thing is closed up. 5 inches on the dot. So it is a relatively larger knife. You know, kind of surprised. I was actually thinking it was going to be a little bit heavier. For a 9.5-inch knife, that's actually pretty good. For it to be only around, it was pretty close, around 7 ounces. And for it to be a 9.5-inch knife, that is actually really good. Some of the previous knives, I think we got a 9-incher the other day, and it weighed around 7. I think it was 6.67. So this is actually really good. You know, only 6.6 ounces, and it's a 9.5-inch knife. That's a really pretty big pocket knife. You know, it's not going to be your everyday carry knife just because, you know, it's going to be rather large. It's got a bunch of features that you really don't need in an everyday situation. But especially if you're going to be out on a camping trip, you know, survival situation, this is a knife for you guys. You know, it's got a real nice look to it. I like the way they have that skull right there and on the blade. Show you guys that again real quick. Got a real cool skull logo cut out right there. And then got a skull on each bolster, or just on this bolster, not on this side though. Kind of wish it would, for somehow they would have been able to incorporate that. But I mean, the overall look of the knife is cool, super simple. You know, just black, and you got your silver bolsters on each side. Pretty cool looking knife, not gonna lie. And you know what, guys? That's about it for the review. The one thing I really wish could have been really improved on this knife is this trigger. You know, it's a spring-assisted knife, but it's super slow. It's almost like you have to give it a flick, or else, you know, it's not gonna open up all the way. Let's try to test that out real quick. So using this, yeah, see, it kind of opens up halfway. And with it being like that, I'm not sure if they intended that. I really wish it would have had a thumb stud on the other side. That way, once it kind of opened up halfway, it'd be super simple to do that. I'm guessing that's what this notch up here, the little indent cut out right there, is for, to slide up with your fingers. Let's see. Okay, that time it opened up all the way, but it's kind of just hit or miss with that. So that's kind of the only really con I have with the knife. It is a really cool looking knife. Not going to be your best everyday carry, like I was saying, just because, you know, the cutting on here, you're going to have very minimal cutting, and it's a lot harder with these Tonto blades, just because of the way the knife is actually shaped. But you know what? For your survival situation, guys, this is the knife for you. That about sums up the review, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed it. You know what? Every single Friday night, we are giving away a knife just like this. All you got to do is watch the video. We're live streaming around 5, 6 o'clock. That's actually should be coming up pretty soon. So I hope you guys go ahead and tune into that. And afterwards, we kind of do a little Q&A hangout session, hang out with the subscribers, get to know them. Might even pull your YouTube channel out if you're interested. And that's about it. If you guys enjoyed the video, don't forget to like and subscribe, and we will see you on the next one. What's going on, everybody? Product Pros Christian back at you with another knife review. Got a neat one today from Tac Force. This is the TF719. So far, so good, guys. Give you guys a quick little sneak peek on it. I'm really liking this knife. Just the overall simplicity of it. It actually has a real nice point to it. It's the spear point. Get into that in just a minute. But without further ado, let's go ahead and dive on into the review. Right off the bat, I'm really impressed with this knife. Just everything so far, just a sleek looking knife. Give you guys a quick little close up on the thing. So starting from the tip up here, we've got a spear point. So what I mean by that is it's going to be like pretty much even on both sides, going to meet up at one point in the center. And with these spear points, you're going to have a very, very sharp point. I can already tell this thing is pretty sharp. We got your black oxidized stainless steel blade up here. Got these little holes in here for aesthetics, also to kind of cut the weight down, balance the knife out just a hair. Got your straight blade down here. Kind of a smaller belly, being that's a spear point. You're not going to have as much cutting room as something like a drop point, but not a big deal. And what I mean by this thing is super fast. This thing is super fast. Super easy just to come down right there on that trigger. Let's see if I can do it one hand, open and close. Yeah. And one thing I really like about this knife is the liner lock on here. I don't know if you guys can see this, but see how it's kind of thicker right here? It's almost like a padded liner lock. So all you gotta do is super easy, open and close. I really like that. Some knives have them, some knives don't. But for the ones that do, I really do like them. What else we got on here? All right, so open it on up again. Got your black oxidized aluminum handle right here. And I don't know if you guys can see, but it's kind of like textured up in here, kind of raised up, and it actually feels really nice in the hand. It's a little sleek knife. Both kind of angles of it. You got your defensive standpoint right here, really good grip, as well as your kind of regular cutting right here. As the trigger right here, it kind of looks like there's a dual trigger, but there's actually just one here at the top. Kind of acts as your thumb ramp, so you get a decent. I wish it was a little more either kind of lowered or a little more flat, but you kind of get the little arch right there. Not a bad thing. So when you're cutting, you get a good old grip right there, which is super nice. And it may not seem like a pretty loaded knife, but it's actually got a bunch on here. Towards the back, you've got your seatbelt cutter right there. Let that focus on it. Right there, got your seatbelt cutter and your glass breaker right there. And last but not least, you have got your pocket clip. Pretty beefy little pocket clip here. You know, kind of hard to open it up and close. Real nice design on it. Kind of got the holes kind of cut out right here. So it's got a real nice design overall on the knife. Really impressed. You know, Attack Force really does a good job on their knives, kind of just with the overall looks and whatnot. And this one especially, they did a really good job. Just the simplicity of it, the all black kind of got, you can see your stainless steel up here with the blade or whatnot. But they did a really good job. One thing I'm kind of curious though, to see how this thing's going to work and kind of cut. So, let's see if I can't get any hairs. Alright, I'm getting a couple hairs. I don't know if you guys will be able to see this up here in the close-up, so I don't know if you guys can see that dead skin right there. But let's go ahead and check it out and see what we got cut down on some paper. Alright, first things first, I wanted to test it out just one-handed, see if I can't get a good grip on here, slice down real good. So, here we go. Yeah, guys, you're going to have no problem whatsoever with this knife. Super sharp. I mean, that cuts like nothing. It's literally like a hot knife going through butter. Oh, that had a little catch right there. Try that one more time. You're not going to have any problem whatsoever. So let's go ahead, test out the point and the cut down and see what we're looking at. Alright guys, so we got our knife here, and with the spear point, I'm actually really excited to see how sharp that point's going to be. Now, I was mistaken earlier. I said there's a rather small belly on here, but for the size of this knife, it's actually got a really long blade on here, so there's quite a bit of cutting room here, large belly on here. So let's go ahead and see what we're dealing with on some paper. Got real good, got real high expectations for this one. Alright, so it caught a little bit up at the top, but let's try that one more time. Once you get in there, I mean, that thing is super smooth. Let's see. Alright. So it's catching just a hair. A little bit of ripping. I want to try that one more time to see what we're dealing with. So let's see what we're dealing with. So there is a little bit of ripping, but it's really not much of a big deal. I'm really excited to see what we're dealing with the spear point. I can already tell there's going to be zero to little push on here. Let's see. So there is a little bit of push, but it's got a real nice point on there. Let's see on the cut down. Yeah, guys. Not going to have a problem with this knife at all. It's cut super good. Very minimal tearing. Really impressed with this thing. Alright, so one thing I was talking about earlier was that belt clip. Kind of curious to see what this thing's going to be working out in the pocket. One thing I can already tell, though, show you that up close here, is that the belt clip's placed really far down, or at least it's kind of starched really far down. They have the bolt right here, and I guess sometimes, you know, some of the knives have them start up here, and I guess when they have them started down towards closer away from the knife, it's just for extra support or whatever. But it is a pretty beefy belt clip, so one thing I want to go do is check it out in the pocket. Let's go ahead and slide it on down in the pocket, see what we're dealing with. So, right off the bat, There is a little bit of knife sticking out right up here. Don't know if you can see that in the close-ups, but you got about, I guess you could say, half an inch of knife sticking out. Wish they could have raised that up just a hair, you know, get it a little concealed. Printing, there is a little bit of print. It's a little bulky on the sides just because of those plates that they have on there. And it kind of catches on those plates as well. When you're sliding on in, it kind of catches right there. But not a big deal. Catches a little bit too on the triggers. But you know what? Can't be perfect. It does come out and slide really nicely. And when you're printing it out, the trigger is right there, good to go. Let me show you what I mean by that. So, got it right here. Pull it out. The trigger is right there, good to go. Not a problem. Show you guys that one more time. I want to see the concealability. So, got that right there. Got a jacket on right there. Can barely see any bit of that belt clip right there. It's rather lightweight in the pocket. Even though it's a little bit bulky, it is pretty lightweight in the pocket. So I'm kind of curious on that aspect of the knife. But so far, so good. Alrighty, one little thing I didn't really like about the little design on there was, I don't know if you guys noticed, but what I was saying earlier was the elevated plates right here, they kind of added just 2 more plates on each side. It does make it a bit bulky, but one thing happens though, is that it catches right here on that lip. Which, you know, not a big deal. It also kind of catches up here on these 2 triggers. Well, at least one of them is a trigger. You know, kind of one of them's kind of just there to keep it symmetrical and whatnot. But it does catch just a bit, but it's really not a deal breaker for me. You know, that's the only downside of this knife is that belt clip so far. But you know what? Not a big deal. Everything else so far is really neat. One thing though, it was a little bit bulky on each side just because of those plates on each side, but that's not a big deal either. But I am curious to see how it's going to go up on the scale, see the weight, the measurements and whatnot. But it felt pretty lightweight in the pocket, so I'm actually pretty optimistic for this knife. Alright, let's go ahead and throw this thing on the scale, see what we're dealing with. I actually think it's going to be a pretty lightweight knife, felt in the pocket, super lightweight. So, zeroed out, we're looking at around 4.1 ounces. Wow, that's crazy. For an 8-inch knife, it seems to be 8.5. I'm actually really impressed. Usually with the size of the knife right here, it's usually around 5 ounces, but curious to see what we're dealing with the measurements. So let's go ahead and bring this off to the side. Grab our ruler. Alright, so closed with the glass breaker right there. You're going to be looking around 4.5 inches, 4.25 without the glass breaker, fully opened up. Oh, wrong way. Gets a little confusing sometimes. Fully opened with the glass breaker, you are dealing with about 8.25, and without 8 inches on the dot, and the length of the blade, you're dealing with 3.5 inches. And my predictions were correct, everybody. Super lightweight knife in the pocket, as I was saying earlier. I mean, to be 4 ounces and almost an 8-inch knife is absolutely insane. They did a really good job with kind of just balancing everything out. They cut out where they could on the weight. You see up here on the blade right there, you got the cutouts right there. You got the cutouts on the handle. You even got the cutouts on the belt clip itself. So they did a really good job with that. Really impressed with Tac Force so far. And that's about it for the review, guys. You know, overall, I really like this knife. Besides the fact that it kind of catches a little bit on the pocket. But you know what? It happens. You know, knife can't be absolutely perfect, but I really do like everything else on it. You know, just an overall sleek-looking knife. You've got your 440 stainless steel black oxidized blade, spear point, really, really sharp point, and a really sharp knife. Really impressed. And they got the padded liner lock, and I don't know if you guys heard about that earlier, it's kind of thick right here on the lock itself, so it gives you a nice more surface area. That way it's more comfortable whenever you're closing the knife. So one hand open, close, super simple, super easy, not a problem whatsoever. And then you've got your black aluminum handle with your seatbelt cutter and your belt clips on the back right here. And last but not least, you've got your glass breaker. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed the review. Be sure to check out our Friday night knife giveaways. Every single Friday night we're giving away knives just like this. All you got to do is tune in. We're live streaming now, 5, 6 o'clock Central Time. All you got to do is tune in and you'll figure out how to win one of these knives. Super simple, super easy. Also, be sure to check out the social media. We've been working on a lot of that lately. And so we've got the Instagram set up, we've got the Twitter set up, and the Facebook page as well. We are following back the first 100 followers on Instagram and Twitter. So check that out at Product Probes. Really hope you guys enjoyed the review, and don't forget to like and subscribe.
What's going on, guys? We have got a popular one to review today. I've been getting a lot of people asking if we'll do a review on this one. So this is the TF705RB, the Rainbow. This is, I think, the best-selling knife on Amazon. Almost looks like a little cougar right here. But I tell y'all what we'll do. Let's go ahead and get into it. Okay, so the first thing on this is from their Speedster model, but it is a super easy one-handed deployment. Opens, closes, super easy with just one hand, which is a plus. Let's go over some details on it and get into it a little bit deeper. So, first thing we got right here is, of course, the cadmium plated blade. You have your serration right here, straight blade up there, your little holes up here. Nice design in the handle. You got your liner lock, which, hold on before I tell you wrong, no, it's a liner lock. That belt clip right there threw me off, but right in there, and it is super easy to close. And then down here, almost looks like an eye and a mouth. I call it a cougar type thing, but you got your lanyard hole, your glass breaker / screwdriver. I think you'll be able to use this thing as a screwdriver, and I'll show y'all what I'm talking about in a minute. And then, of course, your bottle opener right here. So, let's see if I can get it back a little bit. That's what it looks like fully open. Again, one hand closed. Right here on the back. Got your belt clip right here. Pretty beefy little belt clip on it. Now, I tell y'all what, for a knife that's cheap like this on Amazon, they normally don't have super sharp blades. This one, it's not terrible. I've got a few hairs on it. Not sure if you can see it in there. I'm catching light on that rainbow part of it, but right down there. Either way, let's go see how sharp this blade really is. Okay, so as you can see, definitely needs to be ran across a stone once or twice to sharpen this thing up. I'm not sure if you were to run it and really get that blade on up, how it's going to affect the cadmium coating on this. But I tell you what I'll do here in just a second. Don't really have anything to scratch it up with right now, but I'll get a nail or a screw or something, and we'll see if this thing actually scratches off or if it's going to hold up on it. The one thing that I did notice, it is a super lightweight, so I think with this being in the pocket, the belt clip, you see they have it screwed up high right here. Show y'all. They have it screwed up high, but this is where it's going to be sitting in your pocket, so you almost are going to have a ½ inch right there sticking out of your pocket, which I'm not sure how good that's going to do as far as concealing the knife all the way in your pocket. So let's go check that out and see what it's like in the pocket. Alright guys, let's see how this thing does in the pocket. I'm thinking with it being lightweight, it's probably not going to have a problem. Slides in super easy. Slides out pretty good too. That might not be bad. It does stick out like I was saying. Let me show y'all close up. It does stick out right here. So the concealed side of it, you know, it's still there if you have a longer shirt, but that's not too bad. So you can pull it out. The trigger's right there. Got that. One hand closed, one hand open. Slides back in. Rather nice. The print on it, as you can see right here, don't think you're going to be worried about the print because it's going to be sticking out anyway. if you had it down, the print through there. But either way, it's really not bad to be, you know, a nice little bulky knife. Again, slides out, boom, you got that, close, and guys, that's it. You are ready to ride. Okay, so not too bad in the pocket. Could have been worse. So that's a good thing. It feels like nothing's in your pocket at all. So this thing is super light. I want to go ahead and get the weight on it. And I'll tell you what, we'll also get the measurements while we're talking about it. So let's zero this thing out and let's see how much this weighs. Alright, got us some boards right here, and I put a screw in there. I know this is really, you know, if you read the description online, it's saying it's a glass breaker, but with it being flat like that, because if you were to bust, I mean, I guess you could do it, but it just seems like the grip on it is not great for it to be just a glass breaker. The flatness of it, I think, is going to do just fine unscrewing this screw. So let's give that a shot. Got a screw right here, rather sharp. So let's try to scratch this blade up, see what it can handle. Alright, there you have it. The TF705RB. I can see why this is a super popular knife on Amazon. The price, you can't beat it. These things are super cheap. They could be a little faster. I know this is the Speedster model, but if you look at it like this, it's not that fast, but could be worse. Super easy to close, super lightweight. Glass breaker can also be a screwdriver. Got the bottle opener down there. The blade right out of the box is not bad. You are going to be able to scratch the blade up because that's not I mean, that's nothing to get it off with any sharpness on there. Got your lanyard holes. But guys, this knife is not bad at all. I would actually recommend, if you just want a cheap knife to either give to somebody or for yourself, this might be the way to go. I know they have some different colors, but we went with the rainbow style one. But anyway, guys, that's basically it. I'll leave the link to this knife below if y'all wanted to check it out. So guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. Hope this helped some if you're thinking about buying it. And guys, be sure to check out our giveaway series that we're doing every Friday. We're giving away knives like this every single Friday from here on out. So make sure you check that out. Subscribe to the channel. And guys, I will see y'all in the next one.
What is up, guys? Product Perps Christian back at you with another knife review. Got a neat one today. This is part of the Joker series. I think we've done the purple blade, or the purple handle with maybe the black. Yeah, I think it was a black blade, but this is the green blade. Joker, why so serious? Let's go ahead and dive into it. Alright guys, this is the Tac Force, and it's got that little speedster. It's part of that speedster group right there. I mean, I guess I can see why they say that. It's got a pretty fast trigger on there. Nothing, I mean, super remarkably, super good, but I guess I can see where they get the name Speedster. We've done some knives. They've been a little bit better than this. I don't know why they call them Speedster, but I'll give you guys a close-up on this thing real quick. Pretty nice. I mean, just an overall good-looking knife. Anodized, looks like aluminum. Green stainless steel blade. Should get you guys that real quick. I don't know if you can see that. Why so serious right there, Joker. Pretty cool. Just a super nice look to it, guys. Alright, let's kind of dive in to see some of the features we got on here. Pretty simple knife. Got your trigger, like I'm saying. And one thing I don't like about these triggers on the Jokers is, I don't know if you can, I'll show you up here. Let that zero in. There's kind of a little arrow right here, and that arrow is kind of blocking off that trigger. So if the trigger was just a little bit longer, it'd make it a little bit easier. Show you guys that one more time. Right there, I don't know if you can see what I'm saying, but there's kind of a little hump right there. Kind of blocks off the trigger for the finger. Not too difficult to open. Got your liner lock. I'll also show that to you right here. And then if you can see it right there, push that in, close your knife up. Let's see if we can do it all with one hand. So opens good. Trigger, or the lock, is a little bit stiff, but I'm sure once you work it in a couple times, it'll loosen right on up. Next, we've got our belt clip. Show you that right here. And I can already tell on these Jokers, one thing I do not like about the design on the belt clip is super far down on the knife. So there's going to be that much sticking out of the pocket right there. But we'll get into that in just a minute. One thing I do like about it is that little groove right there. Kind of helps secure it into the pocket, which is really nice. And last but not least, you got a little lanyard hole right here. Show you guys that up close right there. If you want to put on a keychain, I guess you could. Maybe put it on a lanyard to hang around your neck. I mean, not super practical since it has that, what's it called? It's got your pocket clip. Speaking of the pocket clip, let's go ahead and see what we got in the pocket. Alright guys, let's go ahead and slide it in the pocket, see what we got. I can already tell you, yep, that whole bit right there is going to be sticking out of the pocket about ½ an inch. I mean, not a deal breaker, but they could have placed that up a little bit higher to make it go down a little bit farther in the pocket. Let's see, concealed side to it. Kind of got a short t-shirt on, so you can kind of see a little bit of that belt clip right there. I don't know if you can see that right here. Turn this way, turn that way. One thing is, it's a little difficult to pull out, but like I was saying earlier, it's because of a little groove in the belt clip, or pocket clip, I guess you could say. Let's see if you have to turn it around when you are taking it out. So take it out. The trigger is right there, so that is a plus. We do talk about that a lot, but it is nice not to have to flip it around, turn it the other way, then pull the trigger. Let's see what we got on the printing. A little difficult to slide in and out, but I'd rather have it to where it's nice and secured in there than slide it around. Printing is not too bad on this knife, which I like. It's a pretty sleek knife, not thin, not super bulky, which is nice. It's actually really light. I'm guessing maybe a little more than 4 ounces, but for this a knife this size, it's not too bad in the pocket. I mean, just kind of going like this. I mean, you can kind of feel a little bit, but it's really not bad for the size. Alright guys, so like I said, pretty average in the pocket. We've already had a couple of these designs. One thing I forgot to go over, kind of surprised myself with it, the sharpness on these things. Right out of the package, they're usually,
I guess you could say about average on the blade. See, I'm not really getting any hairs right now. Or, oh, yeah, actually, I'm getting a couple. So these things out of the package, I guess you could say is a little bit above normal. I don't know if you can see those hairs. Probably not. Yeah, right there on the edge of the tip of the blade. Right there. Let's go ahead and see what we got on some paper. Alright guys, let's go ahead and get the sharpness on this bad puppy, see what we got. Got Product Pro's Ben up here. So as you can see, there is quite a bit of tearing, but it does catch, which is nice. Let's try to see what we got on the point. So, not too bad on there. Not a decent point on here. Let's try ripping it down. Yeah, it does slide through pretty nicely, but as you can see, there is a little bit of, not a little bit, quite a bit of ripping, but run it through a sharpener once or twice and you'll be good to go. Alright guys, got the sharpness, got the pocket shots, let's go ahead and get some measurements. Let's first grab our ruler and see what we got on the measurements. Alright guys, so let's see what we got totally opened up on this thing. 8 inches on the dot, pretty large knife. The length of the blade, about 3.5 inches, and closed we are looking at about 4.5 inches, so pretty evenly distributed knife. Lots of blade, perfect handle grip. I really like that a lot. Can hold it real nice, feels really nice in your hands. Let's see what we got on the weight. Not an extremely heavy knife. I'd say maybe a little bit above average. Let's let that zero out. Alright, one more second. Let's see what we got. 4 ounces on the dot. So guys, I guess you could say it's about average, a little bit below average. I guess you could average around 4.5 ounces. This thing is actually pretty light. You can barely feel it in the pocket. Not too bad at all. Alright guys. So pretty simple knife review. Not much to the knife. And all you really got on this thing, belt clip, assisted trigger. Oh, a little difficult there. And lanyard hole. So pretty simple knife here. I do like the simplicity. And one thing I forgot to mention was the handle on this thing. It's got a really nice grip to it. I don't know if you can see right up here, but it's got, here, let's let it focus. There you go. You got these little grooves right up there, and it's just a perfect, at least for my hand, really nice, perfect feel to it. But that's about it, guys. I'll leave the link in the description on where you can find these things. And also, if you guys have not heard about our Friday night giveaways, we'll leave that right up here in the video section. We're giving a knife away every single Friday, and all you have to do is subscribe to our channel and comment below. It can be anything. Any comments will do. We're also coming up with some new series, so be sure to stay tuned for those, because we're always coming up with new and exciting ideas for product probes. But don't forget to like, subscribe, and we will see you in the next one.
What's going on, everybody? Product Pros back at you with another knife review. Today we're doing one of Amazon's popular, the EMT knife by TacForce. The numbers are, yes, the TF723. So let's get into it. Let's see what this thing's got. Alright, as you can see, it's a pretty fast knife. So let's get into some of the details of it. Now, first thing is this little seatbelt cutter that we got right here, the glass breaker. Nice little orange design up here at the top. Got your EMT symbol right there. Right here on the blade you have a thumb stud. It's not a, oh, it is a dual stud. So right here you have your dual thumb stud, which is actually really neat. The belt clip on it. It's a pretty beefy little belt clip right there. Now the knife feels super sharp. It's got your serrated blade right here with your straight blade. Right in there. If I can get a close up, better close up on this blade. Now, let's see. The speed of it is actually super fast. It's got your liner lock right here in the middle. So it's actually a pretty cool looking knife. Lightweight, which we'll talk about in a second. So those are some of the details of it, guys. The knife itself, like I said, is super lightweight. Just a really lightweight knife. Fast. Got your dual thumb studs right here, so if you want to one hand deploy it, it's right there. So for a little cheaper knife like this, this one is actually not too bad. The grip on it is really good. I know right here, if you can see the grooves in it, it fits in there perfect. So if you had to use this for any type defensive stance, you know, you've got it right there. The grip is fine. Little grooves right here for your thumb. So if you're cutting down. So actually, guys, the knife looks super good. Let's see what the weight and the measurements are on it. Alright, let's see what the measurements are on this thing. Total length, we're going to be looking at, with the glass breaker, almost 8 inches. So 8-inch knife. The blade, it's a 3-inch blade. You have your a little bit, maybe 1 1/4 serrated. So that's actually a good size length pocket knife. Fully closed, we're going to be looking at, with the glass breaker again, 4.5 inches. So that's what it's going to be sitting down in your pocket. I know if you look right here, you can see the how the belt clip rather is spaced out, so they've tried to use the maximum space possible without it sticking out of your pocket, but we'll check that out here in just a second. Let's grab the weight on this thing. Yeah, 4.2 ounces, almost the ideal weight for a pocket knife. So yeah, 4.2. And they had these in, you know, the firefighter and the police ones, but we went ahead and got the EMT because it had some good reviews on it. So it is on the lighter side of knives, but it is a perfect weight. You know, the frame right here is a metal frame, but it's not actually. That might be aluminum right here on this outside. So it's actually not too bad, guys. Alright guys, let's see how sharp this thing is. I know when I tried it on my arm earlier, it didn't really do much. Yeah, it's not doing much now except getting just like dead nasty skin off of my arm. But let's test it out on some paper, see what it's got. Let's see if we can get it to catch. Yeah, if you can get it to catch, it actually slices not too bad down here, which you probably can't see. There are a few rips on it. Yeah, it's gonna rip right up there at the top. Let's see what the point is. Let's turn that paper. The point on it. Wow, the point on it's not bad at all. It's actually really good. And then if you're in, you have to rip down. Here I got some rips. But on these first two, I did get some pretty clean cuts on it. I know this serrated part of it is super sharp. Let's grab a little sleeve of paper right there, and let's just see if this serrated part will catch on it. Yeah. See how much better that serration catches? And you know, to sharpen these, you're gonna have to get you a file and really file them to make them look good. But let's see that what that looks like one more time. So get you one of these on there. It's gonna catch a lot better. So that's actually a plus, guys. Alright guys, let's see what this thing looks like in the pocket. Super lightweight, so I think it's gonna be actually a good feel for it. The belt clip doesn't seem to be catching, so slides in. Actually, it slides in rather nice. It does have that little ball point down here at the bottom of the belt clip, so it's a lot easier to slide on and off in your pocket. The concealed side of it is pretty good. So if you're sitting here now, of course, if you reach for something, they're going to see that part of it. The print is not bad at all. So that's actually a really good thing. Slides in and out, really good. Conceal, well, right there. Maybe if I had a little bit longer shirt on. So that's the side part of it. When you slide it out, your trigger's right here, which is always a good thing that you'll hear me talk about on it. But that's not too bad, guys. Slides in, boom, and you're ready to ride. So there it is in the pocket, guys. Slides out. As I couldn't slide it out right then, I was going to say it slides out rather easy, but since that just happened, let me mention that real quick. The dual thumb stud, if it's back here in the back of your pocket, it just caught. on my belt. See? And that's not the dual thumb stud at all. It's that thing down there. So, you know, 1 out of every 10 it might catch, but that's actually not a deal breaker at all for this thing. So that's what it looks like in the pocket, guys. Super lightweight. I think this one so far is definitely going to be a winner. Alright, so there you have it, guys. No, it's just a simple kind of review for it, but the knife, for it to be as cheap as it is actually a really good little knife. Tack Force came through on this one. So I will mention this, that the little liner lock on it right here is actually really smooth, so you can one hand deploy it, you know, just one hand closed, one hand open, which I really like. I noticed that earlier, of course, you might want to run this part through a sharpener once or twice, but the serrations on it are really sharp. And other than that, guys, that's basically it. So again, this is the TF723 knife. It's the little EMT knife. It's on Amazon. I'll leave the link below, but this one is actually worth checking out. I know we've got over 100 videos talking about knives, but this one might be worth checking out for real because of the price, because of the weight on it. So guys, I hope that helps some. You know, if not, let me know in the comment section below. I know that, you know, some of you are saying, you know, bust a jar with it and get you a seatbelt. So we're kind of working on how we're gonna, you know, implement those things into these type videos. But other than that, guys, thanks for watching. Make sure to subscribe. And guys, other than that, like the video, because that actually gets us up in the rankings and everything. So other than that, that's it, guys. The EMT knife. I'll see y'all in the next one. What's going on, everybody? Product Probes here. Pretty excited about today's review. I got the Tack Force, what is it, the 578 BK. It's the karambit knife, and I've been seeing them on Amazon. I watched them, and the price, you know, it's always fluctuating, but ended up paying $12.95 or whatever for this. But anyway, figured before I open it, I would just do an unboxing review for it. So let's get into it. Yeah, there it is. I like this color. They had the silver one and a gray one, but this one had a lot of reviews. It got oil on it still. I guess that's from the trigger up there. It's light. It is a lighter weight knife. I like the red and the black. And man, that's gotta be what that is where they ordered it from the, wow. Yeah, for that reason. Got a fast trigger on it. Let's see if y'all can see this thing. Belt clip, nice little belt clip on it. Got the silver holes through the handle. Stainless steel blade. If I had to guess, I would say that this was an aluminum handle. I should have probably read that a little further. I didn't realize it was aluminum, but that's the way that it feels. Let's see. But I like that. I mean, that is a quick trigger on it. It's got the interlocking right here. So to unlock the knife, you have to go from right here in the center, which isn't bad. I actually prefer those sometimes. I got the 2 thumb studs up here, and I don't know if this one does, but a lot of times you can, in case you can't get to the trigger, you can just use those thumb studs to open it up. Right here, wow, yeah, I guess if you were to cut, it's got a good grip on it. Let's see, if we were in a fighting stance, fight somebody, slash, can move around. Nice thumb hole, I guess is what this is called. I use my pointer, of course. Good grip. You know, I've done other karambits that had a little bit better grip on them, but it's a lightweight knife. As a matter of fact, let's see how much this thing weighs. Got a little scale right here. Man, what is that? let's say 5.1, is that right? So 5.1 ounces. It's gotta be the blade, which is what kind of gives it its weight. I was gonna say it's probably around 4 ounces. So a little bit heavier than I thought, which isn't a bad thing. Let's see what the measurements are on it. Alright, I'm trying to smooth it around. Maybe y'all can see it a little bit better. And let's get fully open. We're looking, if you go to the end, 7 1/4, but I would say 7 inches. The blade itself, about 2.5 inches. So a little bit smaller blade. I know that curve is kind of hard to tell, but there's 2.5. Comes out here to the 1. So yeah, 2.5 inch blade. It's got the Hawk bill type style to it. Let's see what it's like closed. It might be able to measure a little better this way. Wow, yeah. It's right at 5, I guess you would say, if you were counting this. Wow. Alright. So, I like it, y'all. This is a little cheap knife on Amazon, but it's pretty cool. I like the belt clip style, which I'll show in my pocket here in just a little bit. Let's see how sharp this thing is. Wow. Yeah, this thing is pretty sharp. So, wow, this thing is a lot sharper than I thought it would be. You know, like I said, for the little cheap knives you can get, this is a neat knife. For an everyday carry, maybe. You know, it's not too heavy. Let's go see what it looks like in the pocket, and then I'll tell y'all. All right, guys, this is what it looks like in the pocket. It's kind of bunches up your pocket a little bit, which I'm not too crazy about. But you know, unless I did this right here and just showed you printing, I think is what it would be called, you can't really tell. So, especially if you had baggy pants on, and this is what it would look like concealed. Of course, you know, there's that, but let's see what it's like taking it out. Comes out pretty easy. Let's see how it goes in. See that right here? I'm not crazy. Well, maybe. Let's try it again. Yeah, this catches on my pocket right here. So I guess if you were to put it in your pocket, you'd want to go start up here and then slide down, which, I mean, heck, that ain't really that big of a problem. Slides out easy. You can open it. You got to turn it around, I guess, to get your grip kind of like you want it. But I like it, man. I think the weight of it, again, in my pocket. See how it bunches? I'm not crazy about that, but the weight of it in your pocket, I mean, you're not going to be able to tell the difference with something like this, and then, boom, you're ready to ride. And it's right there where you're cutting something, and then you could turn around. If you had to be in a defensive stance, you got it. Pretty cool little knife. Overall, guys, this definitely has my approval for the price, the weight, the sharpness of the blade, the quickness of the trigger. The belt clip was hit or miss. Either way, it's still got a nice beefy belt clip. For a cheap ceramic that you can get online, you know, I've seen them on eBay, and I think, yeah, I got this one off Amazon, but either way, I like the Prime thing that they have. So I'm sure this knife is around and y'all might have seen it, so if you were thinking about getting it, it's definitely a cool knife to have. It is the, again, it's the TF578, what is that, BK? But anyway, y'all, it's got my approval. I don't know if I'm going to switch to my everyday carry knife, given the fact that I don't know if I want to lug around a ceramic knife with me all the time, or heck, maybe I do. But nice grip, nice blade, cool looking knife. It definitely is the way to go. So that's my review, guys. Hope you liked it. If you want to see any of our other reviews that we have, be sure to subscribe. And if you like this video, just leave me a like and let me know in the comments what you think about it, if you've played with this knife, if you have this knife, and we'll start a discussion down there. See you in the next one, guys. What's going on, everybody? Product Probes back at you with another knife review. Today, we're actually doing a pretty cool one. This is the Milano. It's the Tac Force. I called them stilettos, but this says Milano on them. And it is the TF428. And I know there's a whole series of them. This is actually the RB, which I guess you would call the rainbow version of it. That's the only thing I can get out of the RB. So, guys, let's dive into it, and let's see what this thing's got. Alright, so this is actually not a bad knife for the price. Super fast trigger on it. I mean, it's fast. To be this size, everything locks fine. Let me give y'all some details on it real quick. So right off the bat, well, that light I've got shining from the other side of the table is actually causing a little bit of glare on it, but a nice rainbow blade right there. You got a spear point blade on it, and I wish I could get this thing to focus better. Get your spear point blade, and you got these dual thumb studs up here at the top. It can also be thumb guard right there, which I really like that. You've got a comfortable liner lock. It's the fully, I guess it comes out more, so it doesn't actually hurt your finger. Come on down, nice handle on it. Got a belt clip. Hey, that's actually a pretty beefy little belt clip, but it's actually a good looking knife. Right there on the blade, you got Tac Force. I know it's upside down, then Milano right there. Nice handle. It's, let's see. Yeah, it's an aluminum handle. Right here, the bolsters are actually. Let me see here real quick. I think the bolsters on it are. You know, it almost felt like it was plastic there for a second. But it's just an aluminum coating off of it. And right down here, you've got a nice little groove pattern. Let me show you. A little groove pattern right here in the handle. Got your lanyard hole back here in the back. But, no, you don't neither. Looking at it in the camera, it was a lanyard hole in my brain, but it's actually clogged in, and that's how they've actually added that belt clip to it. It sits up higher. So that plastic wedge right there, you know, you could take your screw, you could take that screw out and take this whole belt clip off if you needed to. So guys, this is it right here. Let me show you what it looks like closed. That's the back of it. Nice size trigger. You can get your fingers on that. No problem at all. And then there's your thumb studs. So, I mean, you'd have to get your hand out of the way for me to use them. Because what I would really like to do is just be able to push down on that and it pop open. However, you can't really do that with the, you know, single hand deployment. I mean, I guess if you were right here and you had your hand like this, you could, yeah, I guess you could make it work. However, you might not need to, because this trigger, check out this trigger, how fast it is. I mean, for this size blade, the trigger does really well. The knife pops. So guys, this is not a bad looking knife. They had, you know, some others. I think they had a wooden handle one, a black handle one, but definitely like this rainbow style of it. The blade, super long blade, it's got the spear point. You know what? Of course, it's not the sharpest thing in the world, but for it to be a little cheap knife like this, the blade is not too bad. I'm not sure if I can, with that light, I should have adjusted that light, but got a few hairs on it right there. So guys, let's go see how sharp this blade is. Alright, I'm going to try to get the sharpness on this thing. Ben is sick today, so the guy that does my cameras for me, You know, I got him to set it up, but he's not here to hold the thing. So we're going to give this thing a shot this way. If I can get it to catch. Man, the only reason why it caught was because of the larger belly of the knife. And I'm looking over here to see if I can get this into this frame. However, let's see if we can do that again. Hey, that time it caught a little bit better. Right there. Yeah, you got a few rips in there. However, it is catching on this piece of paper, which I'm a little bit surprised with that. Straight down. And of course, once you get up here to the top of the blade, it seems to be a little bit more dull. It's not coming all the way out. I know a lot of knives that you could just sit there and slice all day. The point on it, you know, it's not bad. Of course, it's the spearheaded point. It's going to punch a hole right through it. I'm going to fold this piece of paper in 4, make it a little thicker, and let's see what we can do here. So, I'll show y'all. Hey, I did have to push, but that actually went through there. Let's just test out the tip on it. Hey. Yeah, with it being a spearhead, you know, knife, well, that's kind of a crappy job right there on that one. But, you know, the blade, you run it through a sharpener, you know, with it being such a larger blade like this, it's actually, it might not hold a blade for a long time, but you could definitely sharpen this thing up. So like I was saying, for a cheaper knife like this, the blade is not bad at all. And with it being so long like this, you could actually really sharpen this thing up. The point on it seems to be, I mean, of course, with it being the spearhead, you know, it's really good that way, because this is actually made for stabbing. However, you know, big belly on it right here. Let me show you what I'm talking about. So right there, I mean, you have a large belly. They did cut it there for your slicing. And then having that spear point makes this thing super sharp. The belt clip on it, you know, it seems to be pretty beefy. I like the fact that it is removable. I mean, you would have to get a little Phillips head screwdriver and take it off right here. And then this little plug, you see this plug right here? You just plop that out, and this whole belt clip will just come right off of there. However, the belt clip doesn't seem to be too bad. I was never fond of having these as like an everyday carry because they're so long. But the belt clip, I'm glad they added that little plug in there instead of making the belt clip so far down. So that's actually a plus for it. So it'll go down all the way in your pocket and you don't have that much out. So with that being said, let's go check it out and let's go see what this thing looks like in the pocket. I think it might be a little heavy, but let's give it a shot. Let's see, it slides in. Hey, it slides in, actually, pretty good. Slides out okay. It looked like it was going to catch on that double thumb stud. Let me show y'all a better close-up on it. So, this is what it's going to look like in your pocket. Slides out fine. So, if I've got it, put it in right here. It seems to be a little heavy. The print, yeah, you got some good print on it. And then when I pulled it out a second ago, well, maybe it was just the way that I pulled it out. Slides in, slides out, and your trigger's right there. Bam. So, that's not too bad. Right there. Belt clip seems to be fine on it. On the concealed side, with this stiletto knife, you might have to wear it somewhere a little higher, you know, to conceal this thing. And these are a little bit looser pants, which is probably, might be why I'm feeling the weight the way that I am. However, it's not too bad, guys. If this is, you know, kind of the style you want to carry, it does seem to be a little heavier in the pocket, but slides out fine. Your trigger's right there. Not too bad. Alright, so it slides in the pocket fine. I mean, the only thing I just don't like is it's just bulky. But that's, you know, my personal preference on it. The print on it, of course, was there. I'm trying to think of just a real downside to it. Just for me, it's got to just be the weight and the size of it going down in my pocket. However, it slides out great, slides right back in fine, and the way they have the belt clip, you know, it goes all the way down in your pocket, which is a plus. However, the weight on it is just a heavier knife. But of course, with a knife this size, I mean, if you look at it, I mean, that is a long knife. Thick handle, and then adding that extra plug back here with the belt clip is definitely going to weigh this thing down. I don't know if I ever gave y'all a close-up on those dual thumb studs up there, but that was actually really neat. But I think that's the only downside for me in the pocket. I would never everyday carry, you know, the stilettos or Milano, I guess in this case. So, you know, looking at the weight, the balance is going to probably be off. Look at that. How, because of that belt clip, I mean, I can sit here and make it. Well, that's actually not too bad, but realistically, it's not. That's actually not too bad right there. So, maybe having that belt clip will balance this thing out. So that's not too bad right there. Let's go ahead, let's get the weight on this thing, and let's get some measurements. Alright, got the scale. I'm going to see how heavy this thing is. I'm guessing it's going to be pretty heavy. What does that say? No way. Come on, don't mess with me. 4.5, one more time to make sure. 4.5, 4.6, wow. I'm going to be honest with y'all, I was thinking at least 5.2. So, looking at this, it almost gives the illusion that it's just heavy. I mean, maybe it's because of that balance. That's odd. Let's see. Yeah, 4.6. 4.6, yeah. So, guys, this is actually, I mean, 4.6, of course, is a heavier pocket knife, but you got to think of the size of it. I mean, that's not bad at all. And actually, my ruler is on the other side of the room, so let me go grab it real quick and we'll get some measurements on this thing. Alright, got the ruler, the knife. Let's see how long this knife is. Wow. 8 3/4 inches long, and to only be 4.6, 4.5 is not terrible. It's really not bad. It gives that illusion of weight, like I was saying. The blade on it, you know, they're going to tell you that it's a 4-inch blade. However, if you're really measuring the entire blade, it's a little less than 3.5 inches. So, when you're reading it and they're like, hey, it's a 4-inch blade, just know that your blade is cut off right there. So, a little bit less than 3.5 inches that you're getting, even though they give you this, you know, almost an inch right here, give or take. Now, with it closed, you know, that's not bad either. Okay, maybe I'm just seeing things different in my head, but it's not even 5 inches. So, down in your pocket like this, it's not going to be too bad, you know, as it sits, because I was thinking, you know, at least 5, at least. And I guess, I mean, no, it's less than 5 inches, 4 3/4. All right, so I was actually, you know, a little bit shocked that this knife wasn't as heavy, you know, as it came out to be. I was thinking at least over 5 ounces. This thing is, I guess it just gives the illusion of it being heavy. You know, maybe if I had some tighter, you know, pants like my jeans on or something, it might fit in there snug. I wouldn't really notice. However, with it fitting a little loose in the pocket, I mean, even my hand, it feels heavier than the way that it was weighing out. So, I guess it's just a false illusion of the weight, and that could be because of that balance on there. So, guys, this is not a bad knife. I mean, it's fast. It's holding up. I've been sitting here and just, the trigger's fast. You don't even really have to move your hand. You know, with these assisted, some of them you got to flick your wrist. This thing just pops on out. Not a problem slinging that big blade up there. The liner lock in the middle is comfortable. Single hand deployment. single hand close. It's no problem there. My hands, I mean, I've got bigger hands and I still can't reach up very well as I just did it right then, but to get those thumb studs. However, that trigger seems to be the way to go for me. Let me give y'all another close-up on it before we get out of here. But yeah, guys, this ended up being a pretty cool looking knife. Cadmium. Golly, I'm just now remembering the word that I want. It's cadmium coated. Holy cow, I could not remember. I was calling it the rainbow, which I mean, you know, it is. But when I was starting this review, I was like, what in the world is that called? And it just hit me. But it's the cadmium coated. It's what they're coating this with. Not that y'all care that much, but anyway, it was bugging me. So guys, this is the knife. Hope the review helped some. This is actually not a bad knife at all. If you're interested in it, I'll leave the link below. Y'all can go check it out. And if you're already looking to get this knife, you know, if you don't mind it in your pocket, the weight like that, because it actually weighed out to be, you know, okay for the size of the knife, then this might be the way to go. And if you're getting it not to carry in your pocket, you can take that belt clip off. So that's actually pretty cool too. So guys, for the money, it's not a bad knife. The blade on it, right out of the box, isn't too bad. So hope that review helped some. If it did, let me know in the comments section below. Like the video, subscribe to the channel. Got some neat stuff coming out, some more knife lingo videos, and of course our Friday night knife giveaway, which will be, well, I'll actually put it out after this video. But anyway, go check it out. If you're watching this in the future, go check out our Friday night knife giveaway. We give a knife away every single Friday just to our subscribers. So subscribe to the channel, and I'll see y'all in the next one.
What's going on, everybody? Product Probes Christian back at you with another knife review. Got a neat one today, guys. This is the Attack Force 862 RB. Let's get into it. Want to start off by giving you guys a little close-up on this thing. Actually, a really cool looking knife. Got that cadmium coat on there. Let me get that light right there. Really nice. As you guys can see, this thing is a very vibrant looking knife. Look on the back right here. Alright guys, let's kind of get into some of the details on here. We got a drop point blade. So what I mean by that is, you see there's a gradual drop on the blade right here, and it kind of comes up right there slowly, so that's what you get your drop point from. It is a straight blade, meaning there is no serration. It's just a straight, clean blade all the way through right there. Looks to be, the whole knife seems to be stainless steel right there. The whole thing, the handle, the blade. Got your single thumb stud right here, as you guys can see. Got your little Attack Force emblem right up there. And this is a frame lock. And what I mean by that, the frame lock, see how this is actually part of the knife right here? There's not like another little lock on the inside. It's actually part of the knife, kind of runs down. And it's just a different style of lock. We don't usually have a bunch of frame locks, but this one's a little bit different. Got your assisted trigger. Not the fastest, but it definitely is pretty nice. Let's see, kind of that one hand. It is a little difficult to get that trigger, so, and it kind of does that right there. Well, let's try that one more time. Kind of stops. Alright, there we go. Kind of a little bit better. You can feel actually the frame lock when you open it. You can feel it close in right there. Let's see what else we got on here. You've got your pocket clip right there. Neat little pocket clip. And I can already tell on this one, see how the pocket clip extends farther back than the knife, so this is going to fit real nice down in the pocket. Not going to be anything sticking out. Other than that, that's about it for the features on it. One thing I really wish it had was more of a grip right here. It's really hard to get a good grip right here, especially with my hands. The pinky's kind of hanging off, so it is a little bit small for a knife like this. But I do wish there was a little more grip, because your hands kind of